So they released the specs for what it's going to take to run Cyberpunk on my PC.
Yeah.
And
you can't do it, can you?
I can. It's I surpassed the minimum requirements, but I don't meet the recommended requirements solely because I don't have enough RAM. I don't have 12. I only have 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it calls for 12.
Well,
but
you can fix that easy.
Yeah, but I was reading that it's actually not that very hard to run it. Cyberpunk itself, they actually made it to where people don't really have to upgrade their PC to play the game.
Well, you should upgrade anyway.
But I should. But the thing is I think I'm going to get it on console. I don't know what you're doing.
I mean, I'll tell you, I'm getting it on PlayStation for trophies.
I think I'm getting it solely. The reason I'm getting it is because I'm still in my my parents' house in the living room, and I feel like Cyberpunk isn't going to be very family friendly.
There might be some boobies on there.
There's going to be a lot of them, and knowing me,
you like boobies.
I might look at them for a while. I may have to sit there and just like, well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff to appreciate in that game.
This is a conversation we haven't had, but how much do you care about whatever the multiplayer is going to be for that game? I guess it depends on whatever it ends up being.
See,
but
that's what makes me decide, like, should we get it on PC so we can play with everyone else?
I doubt everyone else cares.
Spencer does.
Fuck him, though.
So I guess you and me are playing on PS4 then?
I guess we're playing on PS5, probably.
Oh.
Yeah, because it comes out a week after the PS5 launches.
Well, I see how it is. Okay.
Which
I can't.
We will get all the way into on this episode of the show.
Yes.
Because what's poppin', players? This is your Two Pennies Gamescast. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Connor, say hi to the people.
Hi, guys. I'm going to leave the mic for a second because I dropped my bottle cap on the ground and I'm going to look for it.
Dropped a whole bottle cap on the ground.
You made it sound more interesting.
Here, every week, Monday at 8 a.m., we come to you on the DSPs to talk to you about the new gaming news and all the exciting happenings in the gaming industry. We come with our 2 pennies, our 2 topics each, if you will, and give you our 2 cents about them. This week is an interesting week because we took last week off because I was out of town.
Yeah,
so and we had a pre-recorded episode. And let me tell you, Connor, not the best week to do that.
No, because right after we did that, news.
Went live,
yeah.
Huge leaks from Xbox came out. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our first topic. Kind of focused on Xbox, just so that we can kind of catch up on everything that happened this last week. So, we're jumping in. Xbox Game Pass for PC is doubling its price next week, which is now this week.
Yes.
From when this article came out. This is an article from The Verge by Taylor Lyles. Alongside an influx of next-gen console news, Microsoft also confirmed today that it will raise its pricing for Xbox Game Pass for PC from $4.99 per month to $9.99 per month, starting on September 7th, which at the time of recording was 3 days ago. By the time you hear it, 4 days ago.
By the way, that is September 17th. I had to correct you. 7th.
Oh, yeah, it's the 17th.
Either way, it kicked in now. So
yeah. Existing members on the introductory price will still pay the same rate through the next billing cycle. So if you subscribe before September 17th, Microsoft will not charge the price on you abruptly. This is following news of there was a bunch of leaks about a potential Xbox Series S, as in Susan, which then came with leaks about pricing being about $300 for the S and then $500 for the X. Microsoft immediately jumped on that and said, hey, that's basically what it is. They announced their Series S, which basically looks like a white Xbox One, but they just put a vent on the side of it. It's a terrible design. It looks ugly as all hell.
I've seen people compare it to a Oreo, which is not a good comparison, I don't think.
I saw speaker box, like a white speaker, like the Series X is a mini fridge, and the Series S is a speaker box.
By the way, I have to mention that I had also seen a post talking about how when the PlayStation 2 came out, people were upset because it's so lazy. Like PlayStation 2, that's what you're going to call the next version of your big console.
In terms of naming.
But now it's like, with what Xbox is doing, amazing that they did that earlier on. Just keep it simple. PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. PlayStation's still doing that.
Yeah.
But Xbox, I saw a list of the different Xbox versions that are coming out. It's so confusing. They all just meld together into
it's just Series S and Series X right now.
Yeah, but it's just like Like, what's the difference? Like, X, is that better? Is S better?
So the S is basically an Xbox One X.
See, and then you have that, like Xbox One
Whereas
X.
the Series X is like a full-blown upgrade. So the Series X will be your next-gen console. The Series S is more like the One X that we have now, but smaller in design. And that's why the vent is so fucking big on the top of it. So that it can handle all that power coming through such a small box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Xbox came out same day as those leaks and said, yep, Series S, here it is, $300. Wow, that's really competitive. Series X, $500. Wow, $200 difference between the two, which I assume you're kind of getting what you pay for with those two SKUs.
Presumably.
They also announced sort of like a special deal for their Xbox Game Pass. And then a few days later, they announced that EA Play, which is EA's kind of subscription service to like play all of their main games and stuff, is being looped into Xbox Game Pass as well. So that's so many more games that are now available on Game Pass, and it only kind of makes sense that they up the price on the PC version of Game Pass, because obviously now all these extra games are coming through. Y'all got to pay just a little more to make it worth it. Game Pass, still the best deal in gaming. Obviously even more so because now we have, Mass Effect and Madden and basically anything EA owns, Anthem. You now pay practically for free now.
Yeah.
So Xbox continuing to just kick ass on the consumer side, with a cheaper console, and we'll get into it later. The Series S, $100 cheaper than the digital edition of the PlayStation 5.
Yes. Which, honestly,
I think that actually plays in PlayStation's favor more than Xbox, but we'll get to that a little later in the show.
I think one's definitely better than the other. I feel like you'll have a differing opinion on me when it comes to that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it. But as far as all of these moves that Xbox is making, Connor, how do you feel about it?
I've kind of stepped away from Xbox for a while now, so it hasn't really affected me all that much. And
I've only stepped in for Halo.
Yeah, but now that I have a PC and I do have the Xbox Games Pass,
and it's only going to grow.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll still end up doing it because
you'd have to look at their library right now. And
yeah,
see if you want to right now, but $10 a month,
very very objectively,
which is
good
cheaper
deal.
which is cheaper than the console version of the subscription service. So yeah, that's a crazy deal. Wow. Yeah,
I once again I don't know if I'll be able to. I'll be using it personally, but it's just good.
This next generation is going to be so different.
It's going to be very different. Yes,
it's not going to be about power or computing or accessibility or any of those things. It's just about convenience now. It's just about, do I get to play my games where I want to play them? Do I get to pick up where I left off? And then how easy will it be for me to play the game? And honestly, if there's a new gamer out there right now and they say, hey, I want to get into games, what should I do? I would push them towards Xbox. Because the Game Pass alone allows you to play all these different titles and
past titles included.
All these past titles and new ones coming, and it's just like, if you're a new gamer and you don't necessarily know what you like or dislike yet, there is no better deal than Game Pass.
I agree, and like I would say PC's good because it's just an all around good thing to have. I speak from personal experience now that I have it. But it's
the idea of just not having to buy every individual gaming, because gaming is an expensive hobby to have.
Yes, it is.
And Xbox is changing that. It's a few dollars more than Netflix.
Yeah.
For countless hours of entertainment.
And honestly, the content that they're going to seem to have on Xbox Pass is better than Netflix has right now.
It
has so much good
any
things.
TV streaming service right now. If I were a more casual gamer and I was on the Xbox Game Pass, Netflix, Disney Plus, all of those go before Xbox Game Pass does. Because the value is just too crazy not to. Yeah, so hats off to you, Xbox. I'm so excited to see how this affects this next generation going forward.
What I do hope for, though, considering that there's all this news coming out about the Xbox and all this news about the PlayStation, it's not going to turn into how it was before, where like Xbox is just better, and then there's like the console war going on, and people constantly debating which one's better. When at the end of the day, it's just kind of a stupid conversation
to
have.
Dead because the quote unquote big three are playing such different games now. Like they are not in it for the same things anymore.
Yeah.
Nintendo's been out of the race for a long time, and they've just kind of been in the corner doing their own thing.
They have their niche.
Obviously, they're seeing success for what they're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste of time to constantly think you need to compete with this other station.
This whole last generation, it was head to head between PlayStation and an Xbox, and it's so apparently obvious to me that Xbox is no longer playing this game.
Yeah.
Because probably one, they weren't very good at playing it, and two, that's not where the future of gaming is. Streaming is coming, whether we like it or not. All digital streaming is coming. It's gonna be here, I would argue, in the next 5 to 10 years. And of course, it's all going to depend on where you live and how good the internet is there, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But all of that comes with time. Eventually, those barriers don't exist anymore. And then that's where putting in all this early work that Xbox is putting is really going to pay off. The problem is can they, stick around long enough to do that? Not that I think they're on death's door or anything. Mm-hmm. They're obviously not.
No.
But, how when they do get to that point, then how does PlayStation react?
It's just kind of a waiting game at this point to see how things develop.
It really is. And as of right now, the winner is the gamers.
Yeah, just like, I'm...
Because we get to play all this fucking dope shit, and, they can worry about the future themselves.
Yes.
So, oh my god. This is exciting.
Yeah,
video games are cool.
Lots of stuff to look forward to.
So, Connor, I'm going to leave this next topic up to you. Do we go for something new or something old?
Let's get the old out of the way first.
Let's start with the old?
Yeah, let's start with the old.
Okay. All right. Well, this comes from BBC News by... Where's the byline here?
No byline?
I can't find the byline. I'm so sorry, whoever wrote this article over at BBC.
BBC seems to do that a lot.
Is it at the bottom?
It could be at the bottom.
I don't see it at the bottom.
Those Brits do weird things.
All right, well, shout out to BBC. Nintendo 3DS discontinued after almost a decade.
Taps needs to be playing for this thing.
What's that?
Taps needs to be playing for this thing. Taps? Military taps? Like the burial, the generic burial. That's taps.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that's what that was called.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, hey, look,
there you go.
I learned something new today. Nintendo has discontinued its 3DS handheld after about 76 million sales over a 9.5-year period. A notice on the Japanese firm's site says quote, manufacturing of the Nintendo 3DS family of systems has ended, end quote. The device has the ability to trick the human eye into seeing 3D images, like blah, 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 blah. Basically, Nintendo is shutting the door on the 3DS.
Yes, production of it. They declared a while ago, it says in the article, that they weren't going to release any first-party games anymore.
Stuff, which makes sense.
Yeah,
with
Switch
how they're
out.
treating Switch. Really genius how they marketed the Switch to us. They started with, hey, it's a console that you stick in your TV just like everyone else has. And that got us all, but you can take it on the go. And that got us all excited. But since then, they've treated it more like a mobile device.
Mm-hmm. Play your games on the go, all that jazz.
I think that's just genius marketing. I'm not going to say it's like a whole like switcheroo or whatever, but it's genius marketing. It totally makes sense that they have discontinued the 3DS. I'm surprised it honestly took them this long.
Yeah. Because they can now just...
It only took them, 6 months after the Switch launch to discontinue Wii U's?
Well, yeah, because Wii U's were already kind of... Like, they didn't have much value at that point anymore.
They sold 14 million, something like that. 12, 14 million total, which is pitiful.
Yeah, when you're going for consoles,
Switch has already
not even
tripled
close.
Or tripled that. I don't remember the exact numbers.
I saw the Switch and instantly saw, this is something I should have.
Yeah.
I want this.
Yeah.
Wii U, and never thought that once.
I spent the first few months with the Switch saying, this is everything I wanted as a kid that I never thought would happen.
Yeah.
Like, it blew my mind. Kids today are so spoiled.
Oh, don't go into that territory. Don't go in that territory.
They don't remember things like memory
Tavin,
cards.
You're in your early 20s.
Which
don't
is funny
go too far ahead.
If you just take it a generation before where we came into like memory cards weren't even a thing.
No, you just had a console and it saved all of it.
You had to get a code to like cheat a cheat code to jump to the next level. when you turned your console off. But they don't remember. They don't know what it's like to forget to save their game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't know this.
My memory card doesn't have what I want on it. Or taking your PlayStation to your friend's house and realizing you got the wrong memory card.
They don't know what a corrupted save file is. When's the last time a save file got corrupted?
Damn, that was the thing we had to deal with, huh?
Yeah. And if it happens, it's not because of the technology; it's because the game is bad. Or the game was poorly made, I should say. But yeah.
The Nintendo 3DS dying is pretty sad to me,
though. The 3DS kept Nintendo afloat for a very long time, so this is kind of sad.
I had one myself, and I really liked it. I mean, you had games like...
76 million sales.
Yeah. Fire Emblem was reinvigorated on the 3DS. You had Kid Icarus Uprising came out, and that's a game people love. And all these games can come to the Switch now, and they could do that relatively easily, it seems.
I hope so much we get a Fire Emblem collection on Switch.
That'd be nice. Or maybe I know there's one game that's very popular. I think it's called Radiant Dawn that I've always wanted to play, but it's like insanely expensive, and you have to get a console for it. It's, they have a lot of areas they can make a lot of money off the Fire Emblem franchise. And a lot of that came from 3DS, or, can come from the fall of the 3DS, as much as I did love the game itself, the console itself.
How long before we get another Fire Emblem, do you think?
Knowing how Nintendo's really pushed Fire Emblem, it could be any time, because they did a remake of an old Fire Emblem game in between Three Houses and Fates, if I'm remembering correctly. Mm-hmm. There's so much potential there that they can just access, and it seems like they would do that more.
Can you imagine all those great games on Switch?
That'd be nice. I really like that.
Not just Fire Emblem, but all.
No.
There's a lot of great games on 3DS. There's a lot of great games on 3DS. A lot of great Mario games on 3DS. Yeah. My platforming ass would love to jump into that. So that's the old. Rest in peace, 3DS.
Yeah. You did good.
You
did
will be
real
remembered.
good. Now, not as much by you, because you think the PS Vita is the superior handheld console.
I wasn't even going to bring this up.
I need to bring it up, though, because it bothers me that it's there and it's in the running still. It's like, it's not to me. It's not personally in the running. It's not personally, but
Nobody's playing their Vita anymore.
But comparative to the 3DS, which one did better?
The 3DS.
Yeah.
It's not even a conversation.
Maybe this is me just wanting to show you that the handheld console that I got was better than your handheld console.
I mean, sure, but I'm satisfied with what I got with my Vita. I like my Vita.
I'm just petty, I know.
I also got it as a nostalgia machine, and it did that.
Weird question. Was Metal Gear Solid 3 on that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. After I get my 50th Platinum on the PS3 version, I'm going to at some point go back and get the Vita Platinum.
No, there's a big difference.
It's 2 Platinums.
Yeah. She's the system.
I mean, I guess. I still have to do the work.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Exactly. So, Connor, let's jump into some new news.
Yes.
Ubisoft announces new Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed games for Oculus VR. This is from PC Gamer by Andy Chalk. In July 2019, we reported on a rumor that VR versions of Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed were in the works. In September 2020, Ubisoft and Facebook confirmed as part of the Oculus Connect event that those rumors were correct. Exact titles haven't been revealed at this point, but Ubisoft said that they will be new chapters in each game series. Development of both games is being led by Red Storm Entertainment with support from Ubi's Dusseldorf, Mumbai, and Reflection Studios. And just to be clear, because I didn't make it clear, Xbox was your first penny, DS was your second penny, Ubisoft new VR games is my first penny.
Yes. And with this, to be honest, I'm a little bit iffy on it for one major reason. We haven't had a new Splinter Cell game in a while.
2013.
Yes, 2013. You remember the exact date without even looking it up off the top of your head. Because I know you're a big fan of Splinter Cell.
Too.
Jesus Christ. Well, either way, I'd like a new Splinter Cell game to come out. Mm-hmm. And as much as VR is cool, comparatively to how many people have VR to not having VR, it's kind of sad that the next entry into that franchise is going to be solely on that. Or at least it seems it's going to be solely on that. I don't know how you feel about it, since you're a bigger fan of Splinter Cell than I am.
Oh, it was August. I was close.
August? That's a little earlier than that. Longer.
This is disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Ubisoft's continued treatment of Sam Fisher as a character is disappointing to me.
Now, should we mention that we don't really care about the Assassin's Creed part? Because, I mean, we get a new Assassin's Creed games.
Assassin's Creed games, and we know for certain we're going to continue getting mainline Assassin's Creed.
A VR is just kind of like...
Valhalla is coming in next month.
No, next month, okay.
Maybe the month after.
Either way...
the month after, because it's the week after Cyberpunk.
Either way, we have nothing really to get upset about in that regard, because it's, it's a continuing franchise. It's not going to stop for a while now. But Splinter Cell...
Assassin's Creed,
it's been so long, and we need another game if you're going to give us a game at all.
Everybody's asking for it at this point. Everybody wants it. Now... Granted, the stealth genre is a little niche, so it's not going to sell gangbusters like your Assassin's Creeds or your other Tom Clancy games, your Divisions and your Rainbow Six.
It could shoot off, If they released a new Splinter Cell game, it has the potential to.
I think it just depends on what the expectations are for what you're going into with Splinter Cell. But... It feels almost disrespectful to all those older games with how they treat Sam Fisher, because they throw him in the mobile game.
Rainbow Six Siege.
He's now an operative in Rainbow Six Siege. Like, at this point, he's just a legacy character that's slowly being pushed to the side.
Yeah, as an icon. Like, hey, here's this character that we supported in the past, but not anymore.
Eventually, he'll either become like a Captain Falcon character where most people know him from association with other video games, or he'll just fade away.
Yep.
And my bet is he'll probably fade away.
What would be the funny part, though?
Yeah.
Is if for some reason they did like a Metal Gear Solid thing and they put
Fisher
him on Smash Bros.
That's what
I was going to say.
Smash,
like,
baby.
Imagine if he's the next Metal Gear Solid, but Metal Gear Solid character.
It'll never happen because he originates from a book.
But here's also the problem. He did. The problem with that is that he definitely will be a legacy character if he's put in Smash Bros. Like, that's the end of Sam Fisher completely for that case. But just a VR game,
this disappoints me very much because, it's no secret that there's very few killer titles on VR. There's a couple. Let's not discredit what's there.
Half-Life Alyx did really well when it came out.
That's this year alone. There's also some great PSVR titles out there in the wild as well. Moss, Iron Man VR seemed to be okay, not phenomenal, but okay. There's another one on the tip of my tongue. Blood and Truth.
Was it the fighting game, like the sword fighting game?
Couldn't tell you.
No.
And then the Darth Vader Immortal VR looks dope. So there are reasons to get a VR, and I don't think VR is like gonna die. I think it's just taking its time.
Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in getting a VR. I don't know. I don't think you are.
I've been thinking about it, but I'm probably gonna wait a few more years, probably until like a PSVR 2 comes out. That might be when I jump in.
What are the prices for VR machines?
I know PlayStation is was the cheapest at one point, about $400.
You see, I would just do upgrades to my PC if I had around $400 to spend. I wouldn't end up doing it for a PC.
agree with you.
For a VR.
But the thing is VR is a completely different pillar.
Yes.
You can't show VR. You have to experience VR to really understand it.
And have you felt it before?
Very briefly in conventions.
Oh,
very
okay.
Briefly.
And was it cool? Because I've never actually been in
the
VR.
games I played weren't.
But the experience, like for a second, was like, oh, this is cool.
I could see how it'll be cool. Oh no, I went to a VR arcade last year, and I played like Beat Saber and Super Hot and stuff. Yeah, that was dope. I can't believe I forgot about that. No, yeah, that was fantastic.
Is that near here?
No, I was in. I want to say I was in New Orleans, but I'm sure we could find one in this area easy.
That might be interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to do that in a COVID world. Right
No.
now,
I'm not putting on a face mask that may have been on other people.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, anyways, this is disappointing. Ubisoft, make an actual Splinter Cell game. I mean, I'll take this too, but like, make a real Splinter Cell game. Don't let this franchise die just because, a game 7 years ago disappointed in sales or whatever. Because there is love for that franchise.
Mm-hmm. It's there.
It's ready to come back. Especially, like, how Ubisoft treats its older franchises, like, is so disheartening to long-term fans. Because, like, Prince of Persia has been on hiatus for a decade now, like, more than. And this new Prince of Persia remake that they showed in the forward during our off break didn't blow my socks off. Like, it looked like a PS3 game, an early PS3 game at that. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
disappointed.
There's still juice in these games, and it sucks that we're just losing them to time.
Yeah.
But Connor, you know what we're not losing?
No.
We're not losing any shortage of great new games.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Horizon.
Now, this was the big news for me.
This is the big news of the week, and this is going to be my second penny. This is the PlayStation 5 showcase, which happened this last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of news here, a lot to unpack, a lot happened very fast. So we're gonna break it down like we usually do and go through the conference, and then we're gonna talk about everything that happened after the conference, and then we're gonna talk about feelings on that. But Connor, top level, how did you feel about the PlayStation 5 showcase?
You see, I liked it a lot. I really, really liked it. There were some games there I was surprised to see. Mm-hmm. One in particular. I'm guessing we'll go through the list in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But what surprised me most were the two versions of the PlayStation 5 that are announced. The ones that are...
Well, they did that at the last
the
reveal event.
Completely forgot about that. And then and the difference in prices with that.
It's only $100.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That makes sense.
The one thing I was bringing up earlier is I'm going to get the physical version. Because it is,
of course,
it is cheaper. Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
and that's the future.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and my top level experience. I was satisfied from a presentation perspective. It's quick. We're in. We're out. Here's another game. Here's another game. Here's another game. When they needed to talk, they kept it brief.
They did,
and they kept it moving.
The games were the big part of mine, is what I should also emphasize.
And all the games looked great. I have varying interests in some of them, but for the most part, I'm buying most of these games.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to get my hands on pretty much all of them. The disappointing part for me was what came after and how little actual information was in the showcase itself. That was super important that we just didn't hear. But let's go ahead and start with the showcase itself. So they opened the show with an announcement of Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, that's the big thing that took me by surprise. I didn't expect that.
This didn't take me too crazy by surprise because it's been a while since 15.
It has been.
And you could assume that, hey, we're just going to focus on 7 Remake right now.
Which is what my thought process was. Like, we're not going to get another Final Fantasy game for a little bit longer because they're going to have efforts focused on that.
Yeah. So yeah, they showed it was mostly cinematic, but there was like moments of gameplay in it. They made sure to note that the cutscenes, or that they made sure that the trailer and the demo were captured on PC, emulated for PS5, which makes me think it's going to be a while before we get this game.
That's what I'm a little bit iffy on as well. Yeah.
No date, but also PlayStation console exclusive.
Yes,
console exclusive, so it's probably coming to PC or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Final Fantasy game. They've delayed a release for 15, but it came out, so it'll probably happen for this one as well.
Okay. What did you think about what you saw? You're a Final Fantasy fan. Mm-hmm. I like 7, both the original and the remake, but I have no experience with the franchise past that.
Yeah, I major fan of Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. The game looks amazing. It looks real good. It looks like they've kind of used the combat system that's been perfected in 7 Remake, plus giving it its own style. So it looks like...
This is a system that's been evolving since...
Yes. 15...
13 or whatever?
Oh, yeah, 12 even, I would say. Even. Yeah, 15 tried to do that right, but it ended up me just, holding down an attack button, and then... No, actually just pressing an attack button and holding down a dodge button, and I basically couldn't die. And it was impossible for me to lose it all.
That's what took me out of the experience and why I didn't play it.
Yeah, and there was such good stuff there, but it was never fully realized. But with this one, specifically with Final Fantasy VII Remake, it achieved that, and it seems like Final Fantasy 16 is just going to be a continuation of that.
You would hope so.
I hope so a lot.
I mean, they didn't show us much. They showed us some combos and whatever, but they didn't show us any UI or any...
No, they did not.
Thing that would... they didn't even really show, player characters getting hit, so Who knows?
The iffy thing that I'm, a little bit nervous about is that it is taking a darker tone. Isn't the first time for Final Fantasy, and I'm not opposed to that. But Final Fantasy, in my mind, always kind of has a certain, aesthetic to it.
Yeah, I forgot. There's that moment in the trailer where like someone gets decapitated and then blood lands on that kid or whatever.
Yes.
Real dark.
Very, very dark. I'm, like I said, not opposed to that, but it seemed like the feel, specifically of the world, was completely not Final Fantasy. Like, you had the enemies there, but it's more... I kind of want to say...
Shiva and you had the
yes. You had the cool fight scenes, and the guy in the cool armor that he fought who had the spear, that was real cool in Final Fantasy. But beyond that, the setting itself, the tone of it still, like how the color palette all came together, doesn't really seem like Final Fantasy as I'm familiar with it. So I'm afraid that it's going to be a very good game, but as a Final Fantasy game, I'm going to be kind of just like, eh.
What's interesting about it is it looks very Final Fantasy as I'm familiar with it.
Yes.
But it has the same problem 15 had for me, where none of these elements match each other. The character's clothing doesn't really match the environment, and the environment doesn't really match the setting, and the way characters speak to each other doesn't seem to match whatever like time period they're influenced by. So I don't know. Based off of 7 Remake alone, I'm gonna try it.
But I'm excited for it too. Like, it's Final Fantasy entry, but
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not expecting this game until
a while.
2022, probably. I would guess 23.
I would go ahead and expect 2022 because one thing we're going to cover later on, the final bit of the PlayStation conference, was God of War. Now,
we'll get there, Connor. We'll get there.
But I just have to bring that up right now. They didn't show anything of that game. Yeah. They showed stuff from Final Fantasy 16, and they announced God of War coming out this next year.
We're going to have a conversation about that.
Well,
we're going to have a conversation about that. So next, from Final Fantasy, we transition to Spider-Man Miles Morales. Got a full gameplay trailer coming holiday 2020, and I've written here in my notes that ending beat. Did you hear that fucking beat that came in?
I did not.
Oh my god, dude, it was sick as fuck. Oh my god, it was so fucking dope. Connor, I'm the Spider-Man fan here.
Yes, moving from Final Fantasy fan to Spider-Man fan.
To Spider-Man fan. You played
Spider-Man
the 2018 Spider-Man.
Yes.
You enjoyed it. You liked it.
A lot. Yeah, I enjoyed my time a lot.
I freaking love that game. I still play it, just for fun, like when I'm bored or whatever. So I'll say top level. This demo looks awesome to me. Looks like we're evolving on some concepts that happened in the first Spider-Man game. Looks like we're experimenting with a couple of new ideas, but we're still keeping that high production set piece type level of environment destruction that was in the last game. This isn't like, even though it's a cheaper game, it's not a bargain bin game. You know, it's not cheaply made.
No, very high production value from the stuff I saw.
I'm super excited to explore Miles as a character and as his own protagonist, because I assume eventually he's going to take the reins of this entire franchise, based off of comic book history and just how that first game kind of tees him up.
Yeah, at the end there, it really just makes it. It made it seem like it was gonna be just no Miles Morales Spider-Man, as they later on would announce, and just Spider-Man 2 with like a dual Spider-Man type thing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but obviously they're doing this in a different way.
Well, yeah, I assume Spider-Man 2 is still going to be a Peter Parker game.
Yeah. It could switch between him and Miles Morales still.
I would assume. I expect it to.
Yeah. I mean, you did have those MJ moments and a Miles moment in the PS4 version.
But yeah, so. But this demo looks great. Some shortcomings, I think, are in like the enemy design. They look pretty generic, like colorful bad guys or whatever. But you know, that combat still looks as fresh as ever, and it'll be exciting to just experience Miles at the helm of his own story. Connor, what did you think of the demo?
I thought it looked real good. I mean, my reaction to it was very similar to when Spider-Man PS4 was revealed and shown. It just looks like a really, really fun game. Yeah. You know, I'm not crazy about the comic books or Spider-Man as an IP in general, so it didn't fill me with any like overwhelming emotion. But I was just watching it, and I was thinking to myself...
Well, this demo doesn't do that for me either.
Okay, it doesn't do that for you then?
There's no, like, comic nerd moment in this game. It's just fun and exciting to just see Miles in the suit, and Miles being Miles, and him taking on Spider-Man level threats with the bridge falling apart and stuff, and you know, him panicking and figuring out his best to save everybody he can. You know, that moment where he dives through the bus to grab the guy to put him down on a boat before everything falls apart. Oh man, that was great. It was a great moment. It's such like a dude. You could go for like a B+. You know, you don't have to be the A-star student right now. You could be the B+. But I love that he's shooting for that A anyway, because that's fucking Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm excited for it. And there's some stuff we'll talk about later with it, but overall, can't wait to play it. Probably the thing I'm most hyped for coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but
even
more
including even Cyberpunk, which I'm super hyped for. But I'm just excited to jump back into this world and have new content for Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's your thing.
That's fanboy shit talking. The gamer in me is saying, "What are you, stupid? No, we're playing the Cyberpunk, bro."
Yeah.
And anyways, also, it was nice to see like all the different cultures represented in that demo. Puerto Rican flags all over the place. Latino Harlem, all up in there. My stepmother's Puerto Rican, so I was like, "Oh, hey, cool." Just to see it.
Even though I feel like she does not know about this.
Well, she has
game
no
at
idea.
all. Yeah.
She has no idea. There's also a couple of clips online that went viral of the Latino community, you know, praising all of those elements in there as well. So it was just nice to see. I'm glad that they're sticking true to, hey, this isn't just like some copy cutter like Peter Parker or whatever. No, like this is Miles. His dad was black. His mom is, I think, mixed, or maybe she's full Puerto Rican.
I thought she was full Puerto Rican. At least that's my experience with the character.
I don't remember exactly. It was cool to see in terms of story elements. She's running for office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see where that's going to go. And then, of course, all of this as a tee up to what Spider-Man 2 will become and in what the story elements that were left off. Because I'm assuming all the like threads that were left off in the first Spider-Man game, we're not really going to revisit any of those.
No, you don't think so?
In this one, we're going to wait until the full sequel.
Oh, in this one, yes. I meant Spider-Man 2.
No.
Yeah,
no, we're coming back to those.
Like, okay, just thought they would just drop it off.
Did you watch those post-credit scenes?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, we're coming back to those.
Yeah.
We're coming back to those. I'm excited. So anyways, from Spider-Man Miles Morales, we went to something I didn't expect, but has been leaked for a long-ass time if you've been paying attention, which I assume you've missed all these leaks entirely. This game was leaked like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, really? What game was that?
This is Hogwarts Legacy.
Ah, yes. I mean, it makes sense. It's a Harry Potter game. The Harry Potter franchise is popular.
Yeah. We've known a Harry Potter game is coming for many years.
Yeah. You were disappointed with it. From what you told me.
Well,
unless you turned your mind around that.
It was mostly a cinematic trailer with maybe moments of gameplay. Maybe
with stuff like this, it's so hard to tell.
It's a little hard to tell. They're saying 2021. The developer is Avalanche and Portkey Games. Avalanche makes great games. First and foremost.
Avalanche. Refresh me real quick. Name a game.
Uh oh,
I got it.
Caught me off guard. I just know that they're. Hold on.
Because I am not too familiar with Avalanche off the top of my head.
You caught me off guard.
Avalanche games.
Rage 2, Mad Max, Just Cause 3.
Seen a lot of Just Cause.
Yeah, well, they do that. That's their main. That's their baby. Yeah, and then some other like smaller stuff. So like Just Cause, great series of games. This looks to be very different. People loved Mad Max. The combat in Rage 2 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for this. I expect this to be nothing like this. This gave me MMORPG vibes, which I think is honestly perfect for Harry Potter.
Harry Potter seems to fit in that area.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're doing a Harry Potter game, what do you do? Do you stick to the books? Do you do the stuff people have already seen? Like, would people even be interested in a side story that is somewhat connected to Harry? Oh, let's just disconnect entirely. Let's have it be focused on just becoming a badass wizard.
Yeah.
With maybe some friends. It wasn't very clear to me what the gameplay of this game will be. But just as a Harry Potter fan, I'm excited to see more and to hopefully jump in, play, and love it.
A lot more. They have a lot of opportunities to expand and not be so caught up in the the usual Harry Potter IP people think of.
Yeah, it's also
Harry Potter
in the 1800s. So we are some years separated from anything that happens.
No, yes,
in Harry Potter.
Voldemort is not going to be a
Voldemort,
thing. Yeah.
Way before Dumbledore. Like, we are separated.
Yeah, which I'm a big fan of. A lot of potential there.
That excites me more than anything.
Yeah. It could be good. I think it's going to be good from the presentation. Yeah, it's a lot of ways you can make that game interesting. And those old Harry Potter games, by the way, were very fun.
They were fun. They weren't good.
No, but they're fun. Yeah. So I can expect that at least.
People want to be in that universe.
Yes.
You know, that's a great universe. It's unfortunate that we got to deal with fucking J.K. Rowling and her fucking nonsense. And unfortunately, buying this game is supporting her. But that's the kind of the tightrope we have to walk here.
To be honest, I haven't paid anything attention to J.K. Rowling.
Super transphobic. Super transphobic. Like, ugh. Anyways. Yeah, and to speak on my slight disappointments of this trailer, it had a more cartoony look to it than I was expecting for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it gave me some like old like Wizards 101 vibes in moments.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It's just not what I really want from a Harry Potter game in 2020. But I'm willing to roll with it. I'm still on board. It's not like I'm like turning my nose up at it being just a little cartoony. What? Who cares? Like, if it's a great game, I'm gonna play the fuck out of it because I love Harry Potter.
Right.
And I love playing magic shit anyway. In RPGs and stuff. Fuck that warrior class. That shit's boring as shit. Let me throw some lightning out of my hands. Hell yeah. What?
You have no honor.
You mean I get to summon a fire hawk?
Yep.
And the fire hawk like runs around and kills things for me? That's cool.
No honor.
Oh. Versus what? Seeing the same 6 sword animations over and over and over again?
And they're cool, and they have honor to them. There's no honor in standing across the field like a pussy and just casting spells.
You haven't seen how I play Dragon Age.
Doing just that. Yeah.
I'm not across the face.
Yeah.
I'm right in there. I'm electrocuting everybody. So there, from Hogwarts Legacy, we jumped into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. It was a campaign gameplay demo.
Yes.
Coming out holiday 2020. Interesting that they're not giving a date yet.
Maybe
we're kind of getting pressed here.
I mean,
kind of getting pressed here. I assume COVID is making everybody a little hesitant to give hard dates.
Release dates this year have been so weird.
Because even Spider-Man doesn't have a hard date.
Holiday.
It's a launch game, so never mind. They were waiting to give the date until they revealed the date later in the showcase. But yeah,
vague is what we can just say about it.
Yeah, Call of Duty here. Very interesting that we don't have a date for this because this can come out whenever it wants.
Yeah.
I assume it's coming out post-console launch. I don't know. So we'll see. Connor, you and I loved Call of Duty back in the day. Have kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
As we've grown older and as the franchise has kind of
done its own thing, catered to its own people.
It's been middling.
Yeah.
What did you think of this demo?
I do not give a shit.
Wow.
I sat there and was like, who cares? I have so many more games and things I'd rather spend my time doing than Call of Duty. Outside in the real world and in video games.
Interesting.
Just nothing in this interested me at all. It's like, okay.
Well,
now zombies does interest me.
I'll say
I will say
there was a moment. There were moments in this demo that were interesting, that were new. The kill animations were new. All of that, like running up, snapping necks, shooting guys right in the face. Very cinematic, very visceral. That was interesting. But yeah, a lot of this was this looks like Call of Duty.
That's the problem. It's like, oh, you can snap people's necks now. You kind of do that in Warzone. You can have those kill animations.
They had the bullet cam, like from Sniper Elite.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's actually going to be in the game or if that was just cool for the demo that they showed us.
Yeah.
But
honestly, this is Call of Duty as I've known it for a long time now. All flash, very little substance.
Oh yeah.
Let people who have fun with it go nuts.
More power
go
to
nuts,
you.
Yeah.
More power to you. But we've been there, done that.
I'm done.
We're moving on.
Yeah. Warzone wasn't even enough to make me come back to the Call of Duty
I didn't like
franchise.
Warzone.
Yeah.
But I'm, as always, I'm in the that's a not so popular opinion.
No, it's a very unpopular opinion.
Apex Legends, though. Give me some Apex, bro.
Yeah.
Give me some Apex.
Even though we haven't played that in a long while.
Well, I don't have any friends to play with.
Yeah. And the other guys don't want to. Oh, I'll play it, but the other guys
suck, and they suck. Anyways. Also, good to know, PlayStation multiplayer alpha available this weekend. By the time you're hearing this, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously have no intention of jumping into that. I assume it's just going to be more Call of Duty. So, more power to those. Oh, it was a PlayStation only alpha as well. So,
still just
obviously
repping PlayStation.
Call of Duty is jumped onto the PlayStation bandwagon this last generation. Obviously, they are continuing to do that. So, from Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War. You gotta love when the subtitles have subtitles.
Oh, yes, I love them.
We jumped into Village, Resident Evil.
Resident
Evil 8 Village, as I'm going to call it, even though that's not what they're calling it. Showed us a cinematic with maybe gameplay moments in their trailer. Shooting for 2021. Typically, Resident Evil hits pretty early in the year. Resident Evil 7 was February, I want to say, of 2017.
It came out really just like...
It was super early
here we
in the year.
Go, yeah.
Both Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes have been March-ish.
Now, was Resident Evil 7 announced just kind of out of nowhere too? Like the release date as well?
It was the E3 that year before. But you'll also remember Resident Evil 7 was interesting because it was the kitchen demo of a VR game. It was pitched as a VR horror game called the Kitchen, in which I believe it was the demo of Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
But they stripped all the story elements out of it and just made it that. Resident Evil 7 was really that first VR title to be like, hey, this is a full game that you can play in VR, and it's just as good as the regular experience. So Resident Evil 7 had a little bit of a tee up. Since then, it's just kind of been like, hey, announced E3 time, coming out next spring. And, if COVID hadn't canceled E3, I assume we would have gotten all of this. Obviously, we knew about Resident Evil 8 coming back at the PlayStation reveal event.
Yes.
Which would have been around E3 time. So, all of this makes sense coming in this next spring. I assume we're probably not going to hit those same early dates as we have for the last couple of years. But, I don't expect it much for past the middle of the year for it. Connor, what did you think about this trailer, demo, etc.?
I mean, I've been interested in Resident Evil 8 for a little while now, and it just looked good. I didn't get much from it, to be quite honest, in terms of what gameplay is going to be like. And
it's going to be another first-person game.
Yeah. The thing is that I never played 7 like you did.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will get to it after we ever finish Resident Evil 3. Still need to do that.
I guess we do. Yeah.
You don't like that, do you?
No, I like Resident Evil 3. I'm done with Resident Evil 3.
But beside that, I like the design of the werewolves. We saw a closer design of them.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That we're expanding on different horror types of monsters and stuff.
Very good improvement from the last enemy type in Resident Evil 6.
7, Resident Evil 7's enemies were terrible.
But those are like some of the...
But the family was horrifying.
Oh, yes, they were. That was the main draw. But the basic enemies were some of the worst I've seen.
They were terrible. Yeah. They sucked. They were awful.
There's a merchant as well in this reveal. Another merchant.
Yeah, it looked like they're bringing the RE4 guy back.
Is it a different guy or the same guy? Who knows?
Obviously inspired off of that guy.
Yeah, obviously inspired.
Yeah. So, if this is like if this is like first person Resident Evil 4 but scary, I'm so fucking I think between the two of us, I'm the bigger Resident Evil fan.
Oh yes, definitely. I I never bought any of the Resident Evil games. I just played them.
Yeah, that's true.
I never bought any of them.
That's true. Well, 5 and 6. Why did we do that?
Why did we do 6?
5 is fun.
5's fun, yeah.
As a co-op game. But yeah, I love Resident Evil, especially since we're in this remake era. I think they've just been fucking killing it for the last few years, and I'm excited to play more. So yeah, this did everything it needed to do for me. but I already knew I was jumping in day one anyway. But I love seeing all of that imagery. Looked great. There's that weird little part in the middle, kind of, where it was like the scene out of Harry Potter 7 or whatever it was. Where they're talking about the Deathly Hallows, and it was like that cartoon animated, like yellow light. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was interesting. Don't know what that's about, but cool.
I mean, they've done good for this game so far in piquing people's interest and not showing too much.
I'm so in. So from Resident Evil 8, we jumped into Deathloop. We got a new gameplay trailer showing off perfecting levels, kind of that loop things. They said this game is coming out Q2 2021. We'll see if that holds true. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be PlayStation console exclusive, so PC and PlayStation 5 using. Mm-hmm. This ticked every box for me. Where it's from Arcane, so the guys who do Dishonored. This looks like Dishonored with the level design of Hitman with guns. So fucking in. Mm-hmm. I'm super fucking in.
It looked very, very fun.
All those powers, running through levels again and again and again, perfecting it. They keep hinting this female assassin character. I don't know if that's like another player who's going to be coming against you, or if I'm not sure. But I think that would be interesting to be like, okay, I know this level. I've perfected my execution of this level.
Yeah.
Now let a player come in and try to fuck up my execution. Mm-hmm.
The game seemed very easy though. That was my outside of the player involvement.
That's a demo.
Yeah, I thought so. But is it going to be difficult? Is that one of the allures of the game?
Nah, that's a demo thing.
Okay. Dishonored was pretty difficult. Fighting. Yes, maybe I don't know.
Yes. Dishonored. Dishonored will kill you fast. But yeah, that's about all I can say for Deathloop. I'm excited to play it.
We were kind of confused. Is there going to be a player hounding you each mission all the time? Is it things you
I'm
can
sure you can turn
set
it
off? Yeah.
I'm sure you can turn it off and just be like, just let me practice this level.
Yeah. I think so too, but who knows?
Yeah, I would almost bet money that's like a mode. That's like the multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
But those two things are probably so intrinsically intertwined that they're going to push you to being in that mode all the time. Next came something I didn't really see coming, but I think is very interesting. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Yes.
They said available digitally at launch. Very interesting.
I know, another weird thing like that.
And yeah, I mean, trailer looked cool. Looked like Devil May Cry 5, but there was obviously things added, but they didn't go into any detail in the trailer about what was added.
They did add one thing, which is something that Devil May Cry fans have been desiring.
Yeah, but they didn't say this in the trailer, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Uh-huh.
So just hold off before you cream your jeans.
Tavin, they're doing it. They're doing Virgil character playable.
Well, here you go, creaming your jeans.
He was in Devil May Cry 3.
I just told you to wait.
Was in I can't wait. He was in Devil May Cry 3. He was very fun to play as in Devil May Cry 3. And people have been asking for a DLC, a Virgil DLC, for a while now.
Yeah.
They said, hey, we want Virgil DLC. Please, just give us the power to play as this cool badass.
There's a lot more coming in this special edition that I was going to get into later. But...
the special edition surprised the hell out of me, because I thought if anything, it would just be a DLC. Yeah.
I didn't see this coming.
A whole other version of a game, which, to be quite honest, is it going to be worth another purchase?
I would think so.
I would think so as well.
Especially with all this extra content they're adding.
Even if it's not Virgil, I'm buying it. I have to play that.
I could see myself buying it. I don't know if I will, though. But Devil May Cry 5 is a great game, and everybody should play it, and all those extra bonuses and stuff, that sounds like a great fucking deal. So next, they showed off Oddworld Soulstorm. It was gameplay and a cinematic trailer, no date. The Oddworld games have never done it for me.
I played them. You played them. At least a little bit of one. It was free on PlayStation at one point.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I played the first level and bounced.
Yeah. I did that, and I did the same thing. It's just not for me or you.
Not for me. In this new gameplay demo didn't do anything for me either.
Yeah.
If you're an Oddworld fan, shout out to you. People like those games. The people who like them like them.
Yeah, I didn't know. I always thought that was a very niche game, which it is.
I think it is. Yeah, it is.
But I didn't know there were people who liked it still loved it that much.
Yeah, they seem to like it. And then from here, this is really kind of like the lull of the showcase for me, is from Devil May Cry 5 all the way to this next game we're about to talk about, because it's just a bunch of kind of who cares, for me at least. Even DMC5, cool that that's happening, but who cares? But to be fair, they didn't take super long. They didn't eat up a whole bunch of time. They were like, "Hey, it's coming," and then they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oddworld kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit, and this next game was just a quick little trailer. No date or anything.
No.
Don't know quite why this is in our showcase, but cool. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
I'm excited for that one, man. So excited for that one.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah. I remember I played the first one a lot.
All of this sounds super genuine from you.
I never played any of these
Never
games,
touched
and I'm not starting. I am never starting.
I mean, cool. If you like Five Nights, you like Five Nights. But in this, I think because they've given it a subtitle and because it's coming to PlayStation for the first time, I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Maybe it'll be a little different. I mean, I assume it's still going to be in the sit in the security room, open doors and lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe, they might throw in more of a narrative, more of a in-your-face narrative, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? We don't really know anything. It was just a quick little cinematic trailer. They didn't really show anything. But, cool for who cares, but we don't. Next, Connor.
Yes.
This is where another opportunity where you get to cream your jeans.
Uh-huh.
We got a chunky gameplay demo.
Say it.
Of the Demon Souls remake.
Yeah. So, I love the Bloodborne game and all the Dark Souls games and Sekiro, even though it's at the bottom of those lists. Either way, I never played Demon Souls, though.
Mm-hmm.
Never once played, because I never owned a PS3, and that was all it was released on. Never on PC, which is something I was kind of annoyed at with something involving this announcement. But this game took me by surprise with how amazing it looked. Like, I knew it was going to be a ground-up remake. Like, it was going to be a completely different game made up. Yeah. But it just looked amazing. It really did. Like, it
really did look amazing.
Yeah. It looked like one of the best games I've seen in a while. In terms of just visuals.
They did do like the E3 demo thing where it looked too easy because he's just fucking clearing out like the normal dudes.
Yeah, which surprised me. That is seemingly the first area though.
But they did end it with, "Hey, here's that boss," and then the boss will kick your ass.
Who in the original one you couldn't beat? It was one of those ones you weren't supposed to beat because it takes you to the hub area, the Nexus.
Well, have you seen the side-by-side comparisons of this demo? And like, dude.
Night and day.
Oh my god, night and day.
Like,
this game looks beautiful.
I know. And Demon Souls outdated now.
Oh, dude, it looks ugly.
Yeah, but
it looked ugly at the time. Yes, it looked ugly for the time. It looked ugly for the time.
No, I'll give
someone who was a PS3 gamer, I can tell you that game does not hold up compared next to,
PS3 gamer that never played it on PS3.
No, I never played it. Never heard about this game because this game, nobody cared about this game until Dark Souls.
Nobody
cared about this game until Dark Souls.
People liked Demon Souls a lot when it came out. It was great.
Some people liked it, but nobody cared until Dark Souls.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared. People nobody cared. Nobody cared. No,
nobody gave a fuck about.
Demon Souls was good. It's the reason why they chose to remake it.
Yes, it was good. People liked it
because it was good. Yes, there you go. That's all I want.
People liked it, but nobody gave a fuck about a From Software game until Dark Souls.
To that degree, no.
Whatever, man.
The game looked amazing.
I'll say this demo looks so good that I'm going to try it.
Yeah. When's the demo coming out?
Well, Connor, that's a great fucking question.
Yeah, I didn't know.
If only they had told us in the showcase. But you know what they did tell us in the showcase? That apparently...
Yeah.
Is that it's also coming to PC.
Right.
It's totally coming to PC, isn't it, Connor? Anyways, moving on. Next, quick trailer. Fortnite is coming to PS5 at launch.
Fuck.
Yeah, anybody could have told you that. Cool. Moving on. Next, this got me super interested. The PlayStation Plus collection.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new benefit you get for subscribing to PlayStation Plus. I assume this means they're going to up the charge of PlayStation Plus eventually if they treat it like Game Pass and instead of just like this one-time thing where they just put all this stuff out. But basically, this is a huge collection of all the greatest hits from this latest generation. So let me go ahead and read off the list real quick. They got God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X, Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 game, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Battlefield 1, Infamous Second Son, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Persona 5, and then Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. Good to note. Persona 5, not Persona 5 Royal.
Yes.
At least in the trailer, that's what they showed. But first of all, this is a great list of games.
Yeah.
There is not a dud in here. There are obviously games that are better than others.
Oh yeah.
But there's not like a straight up bad game in this list.
Now, I feel like I should mention this, that I personally don't really care because I have all these games.
Yeah, you've played the majority
played them all.
of these.
I have them, most of them.
Well, this is how I'm going to play Days Gone.
Oh, really? This is what's going to make you do it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm subscribed to PlayStation Plus. I might as well.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe I'll even try The Last Guardian. Probably not. Because I think
not your game.
I think Shadow of the Colossus is one of the most overrated video games of all time. And it like that, but like frustrating? No, thank you. Interesting. Last of Us Remastered. No sign of Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
No sign of Ghost of Tsushima. I assume this means this is just because they want people to buy it and it'll probably come later? Maybe?
Possibly.
Who knows if they're going to expand on this list? I hope they do. But, as of right now, this is a great deal. This is a great deal. Get all these games free? Yeah. Free to play? All these games?
Well, free to
quote
play.
Unquote free,
yes.
but most PlayStation owners have PlayStation Plus as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a great list of games. Some of these are some of the greatest games of all time. God of War, Persona
Bloodborne.
5, Last of Us,
Bloodborne 2.
Bloodborne, Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4. Hard.
Yeah. Those games are hard. Those games are hard to beat.
Couldn't remember. Is Spider-Man coming? You said no.
Spider-Man is not on that list.
Okay, that's also kind of surprising to me, honestly.
Well, might be a reason for something that they announced later after the showcase and not in the showcase.
Oh,
I wonder what that is.
I really don't know.
So
what that is.
Next, they finally gave us the goods, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 5 dates and prices.
Yes.
So they showed off real quick both the PlayStation 5 and then the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. PlayStation 5 is going to be $500 or $499.99, $500, and then the Digital Edition is $399.99, $400. The Digital Edition, of course, is basically just the PlayStation 5 but without a disc drive.
Yeah.
It's coming in November 12th in U.S., Japan, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. November 19th for the rest of the world. Your Chinas and your et ceteras. Interesting. Europe isn't in here. Europe is getting it on the 19th. That's interesting.
Figured that'd be one of the first ones.
Anyways, Connor, let's go ahead and dive into this. Good prices? Yes? No?
Yeah.
These are acceptable prices.
These are good prices, yeah.
Well, the PlayStation
But here's
4...
my issue. My issue, now that I'm a PC gamer as well, it's just, this is getting a little bit close, especially with the new graphics card processor that was announced that's $500.
Yeah.
That can play like some of the most top-notch games out there.
Yes.
It's just kind of like, when you're getting close to those in prices, it seems to me like there's less of a reason, except for exclusives, which is why I'm still going to buy a PlayStation.
I was just going to list off the huge list of exclusives.
Yeah, but like, in terms of what the power it brings, and still the games that are going to be coming on PC, it's kind of hard to ignore that. Because PC doesn't need, like, we have to wait for some PlayStation 4 games or other games in the past to come to PlayStation 5.
Here's
versus
the thing.
with PCs, you don't.
Here's the thing where it comes with your argument. Game devs don't develop for top-of-the-line stuff. They go up to meet those things, to make everything look pretty, but they don't base their games off of top-of-the-line shit.
No,
they do it off of, bottom-of-the-barrel shit, which is still PC gamers who are running, 8+ year hardware. Mm-hmm. So, and then basically new console generations are basically to just give a hard line saying, hey, these are going to be the recommended type things for everybody to use. We'll go down a little bit, we'll go up a little bit, but here's what your baseline experience is going to be. Mm-hmm. So the reason consoles are, well, one, it's a plug-in and play and it works automatically. There's no frustrating, there's no part goes broke, there's no, our buddy Fergus has spent the last week trying to fix his fucking PC for something that wasn't really his fault. What the fuck? No, fuck that. Meanwhile, my PlayStation hasn't fucked up once. I've never not been able to play my PlayStation. Mm-hmm. But this is like your typical console versus PC argument that we're having. The real thing is it worth spending $400 or $500 for Horizon 2, Spider-Man 2, whatever Naughty Dog does next, whatever Ben Studio does next, I assume Days Gone. Whatever Sucker Punch does next, I assume Ghost of Tsushima 2. God of War 2. All of these things. It's worth it for those.
But then you also have the price hike of games coming. That seems going to be very heavy emphasis on the PlayStation games.
Okay, that's going to happen everywhere.
I don't know. I think that's just kind of laying down and taking it.
And then here's the thing.
Go that route.
You buy a PS5, you're good for another 7 years.
Yeah, but a lot of people do the same thing with PCs as well.
Okay.
Especially with this, like I said, the new thing they're releasing.
Okay. You don't play Naughty Dog games on a PC.
I mean, to be honest, I could go without Naughty Dog games. I'm not like you. I can
fine.
bypass them. So my problem is like,
the list keeps going.
The problem is to bring up like
that's one dev
Naughty
studio,
Dog
but the
game
list keeps going.
isn't good enough.
But the list keeps going is my point.
Yeah.
You can't they've got a heavy fucking roster. I mean, Insomniac alone, Ratchet and Clank is the new Ratchet and Clank is the best example of what next gen means. With the instant loading and the dual whatever it's called. I'm not that into tech. Like. I don't understand your argument when the best games the goods are on PlayStation.
I don't know. My stance on things like this is I don't trust companies. And I'm at the end of the day I'm just iffy that they're going to be able to screw you over somehow by just hiking up prices constantly more and more and more.
Well, how is this a hike in price? The PlayStation 4 was $400. The PlayStation 3 was $600.
PlayStation 4?
Yes, was $400 at launch.
That was $300.
No, it was $400. It dropped to $300 4 years later.
Huh, never mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking tell you. The Switch was $300 at launch, but look at what the Switch can play.
Very specific games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Xbox One at launch was $500. The PS3 was $600, and that was wrong, and they were punished for that. And then,
they were.
And then they dropped the price, made cheaper models, and then doubled down on great exclusives. And then we got, the Uncharted's and the Last of Us and the Resistances and the Killzones, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, obviously PlayStation came on top by the end of that generation. Xbox dominated the entire time, so I would still say that was an Xbox winning generation in terms of conversation.
Fair enough. Yeah, I take that back then.
This is what I'm telling you, man. Consoles are going to be $400, $500 at launch when you want the top-of-the-line stuff. Because that's just how this industry works.
Yeah. That being said, though, I just feel like I should mention it now. The move towards $70 games does annoy me to no end.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But how do these prices compare to you when you compare it with the Xbox price model? With the Xbox Series X being $500, the Xbox Series S being $300, the cheaper hardware being $100 less than the equivalent of a PlayStation 5, but just without a disc drive.
Yeah.
How do those work for you?
Xbox doesn't seem to still offer enough in that regard, but PlayStation seems to be,
Xbox
good enough with what the games will.
But the thing is you can get your Xbox games on PC.
Yeah.
So
not much reason in that regard.
Not much reason to buy one, but it's competitive prices. Competitive prices.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing. They know what they're doing there.
Yeah. Trying to win.
Well, they're trying to get new gamers.
Yeah. They're trying to win another way.
I don't know. They're doing their own thing now. I don't know if it's so much of a direct competition anymore.
Not direct, but even so, I still feel like you're going to have people say, I'm going to get a PlayStation or I'm going to get an Xbox. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to be PlayStation. More people are going to have PlayStations than Xboxes. Even if they're not directly competitive of one another.
Yes, but you don't want to judge those numbers. You don't want to judge it off of console sales. You want to judge it off of Game Pass members.
Yeah.
Because Xbox is double dipping now.
Wouldn't there be overall more money to be made in consoles than Games Pass at the end of the day?
You would assume so. But you also have to remember Netflix makes off of all of their money based off of the people trying it out for a week, getting that free trial,
yes,
and then forgetting to turn it off. And then 3-4 years later, you've been paying monthly. Yeah. And also, these companies don't make their money off of consoles. They make their money off of the software that comes later. PlayStation 4 was actually an exception to the rule in which Sony was making money off of every console sale. For PlayStation 3, they were losing money. and it was still $600. PlayStation 2, I believe they were losing money. I don't remember the price that the PS2 launched at. Probably $500, $400, something like that. So, but, they make all their money later when gamers buy $3, $4, $60 games a year for the next 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it all depends on how you look at it. These are like big numbers on levels that we can't even comprehend. So, what's on your mind here, Connor? You're gazing off into the distance.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of things running through my mind right now. Either way, I mean, they've done a good job of selling it so far.
Well, the thing with Game Pass that's good to note is it's $15 every month.
Mm-hmm.
A game doesn't come out, even on PlayStation. A game doesn't come out every month.
No, it does not.
Maybe every other.
Much less one that you may be worth playing.
Yeah, so there's a guarantee. Even though let's say every other month, every third month or so is a brand new PlayStation exclusive $60 game. Well, Xbox doesn't care. They've got 15 every month.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, maybe, but if we can just keep getting these Xbox Game Pass numbers up because there's so many different games, and now we have the EA Play audience as well.
Yeah.
If I was a fan, if I was the type of guy who buys the Maddens and the Call of Duties every year, I would be like, fuck yeah, I'm getting Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. So it just depends on what type of market you're hitting.
Yeah.
And they're hitting different markets now.
Will people really, at the end of the day, respond well to the Games Pass, do you think?
They have been.
Seems like they will be going further as well.
They have been so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
It's a stupid great deal. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, and then to finish off the showcase, they announced a God of War sequel, quote, Ragnarok is coming.
I didn't see that coming.
2021.
Yes, 2021.
Connor, do you believe 2021?
I do. It's been, when you think about God of War, it came out in 2018. Mm-hmm. It's been 2 years as of right now. Mm-hmm. 3 years between that game and this game. And
let's assume it's late 2021. We're looking at,
by the way,
3.5 years?
It's definitely late 2021. Yeah. And if it is coming out 2021, which I think it is.
In a COVID world?
Yes. Well, think about it. They decided to announce it now, when COVID's been going on for a while now.
They're launching a new console, Connor.
Yes, they are also launching a new console. But I feel like if COVID affected it at all, it would have by now, and
God
they wouldn't have
the
announced
standout game of the generation.
It was.
Even on our top 10 list, it somehow made it to number 1 with a bullet.
Yep.
Even though it was neither of our number 1 games.
No, yeah. High up on the list, though. Both number 3s. I think both number 3s.
I thought it was 2s.
Maybe 2s.
I think it was 2s. No, it was 3s because it had 16 points. No,
yeah,
it was. How numbers work.
It had
to have been 2.
It was 3.
No, it had to have been 3.
It had because mine was Bloodborne and Final Fantasy. Those were higher.
You're right.
I think. Yeah.
You're right. Look at us forgetting things.
But either way, you don't think it's coming out in 2021?
No, God no, not a chance in hell. This game comes out in 2021. Mm-hmm. They said that. They said that to just have a date and to be They said this for the console. There's not a chance in hell this game comes out in 2021.
Well, in that case, wouldn't they have just said coming soon, or at least announcing it to get people talking? I feel like in that case they would need to do 2021 unless they were sure they were.
No, because I assume they're shooting for how Switch marketed their console that first year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense to me. Within the first year, you're telling me within the first year we're getting a Spider-Man spinoff, a Horizon sequel, a Ratchet and Clank sequel, a God of War sequel. All back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Holy shit! That sounds like a killer lineup, and it is a killer lineup. I don't believe you. I don't believe you when you tell me God of War is in 2021.
But the thing is that if they do fulfill that release and do all those games shortly after the PlayStation 5 is released, they're gonna kill it. I think that might be worth. I think getting the game out will be worth that.
Yeah, but PlayStation's first parties don't have a good reputation for holding dates. They pretty much all get pushed.
Not the best, no. But
Last of Us got pushed, 4 or 5 times?
Mm-hmm.
God of War got pushed once. Uncharted 4 got pushed. Horizon got pushed. Days Gone got pushed. I don't think Ghost is... I think Ghost made it, but I think that's because they held off for so fucking long before telling us anything. So, I just don't believe it. And it's so vague. 2021 and then just a title card?
Yeah.
God
of War Ragnarok.
Like your Metroid Prime 4?
Well, that could be them doing the case of if for some reason it is going to be delayed, better not to show gameplay this early on before. Even if they have gameplay they can show.
I don't think they have gameplay showable.
Probably not. I don't think so either.
You know.
But I still feel that it might make that 21-21 more than it wouldn't. Well, you have to see, I guess.
Especially because we're not getting Spider-Man 2 in 2021, and those games
are
not the same year.
But they didn't.
Granted, we're getting a spin-off.
Yeah. And
what do you think the chances are this is a spin-off?
Of Miles Morales?
No, of God of War.
Oh, none at all.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But the thing is that they haven't announced Spider-Man 2 either. They announced the Miles Morales because it was coming out. God of War.
Connor, that works to my point, not yours.
Well, Miles Morales is a completely different game than God of War 2. And with Spider-Man 2, they never bothered to say, even if we know they're making it, to say, hey, it's coming out in 2021, if they didn't have a surefire way, or at least a more surefire way of knowing it's coming out this next year. God of War, at least they had some kind of inkling to say, well, we can at least say it's coming out this year, this upcoming year, then not. Because they really have no reason to put 2021. They could have just said coming soon, and even if they did have an idea for it coming out in 2021, coming soon could be then, it could be 2022, it could be any point in time.
Okay, but they didn't. They said 2021.
Yes, which makes me think that they actually have a bigger bead on this game's release than other games like Spider-Man 2.
I think every game has a good idea, but development is a mess.
Yes,
Development is a messy process.
We both know that game development. I think you had actually mentioned it on the podcast before. They don't really know whether a game is going to be.
No, every game is broken until it comes out.
Yeah, until it comes out. Yeah.
I
mean, I'm not going to bet money on it.
Because, see, I would bet money it goes to 2022.
See, I wouldn't bet 2021 money on that. But that's more just because I know how development can work.
Anyway, so that's the big showcase. That's your big, final hit of God of War. It's not even a title. It's not even a full title. They just gave us the symbol and said Ragnarok is coming.
You don't think it's going to be God of War Ragnarok?
No, I do.
Okay, yeah.
But that's... they didn't give us that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances? What are the chances it's just called Ragnarok?
Jesus Christ. I don't know how that...
Probably none, because then we're dipping into Sony territory, and it's like, we need the branding.
And even before they showed this trailer, I feel like I saw people saying, hey, God of War Ragnarok, can't wait for that to come out. Like, they could kind of just put a name to God of War.
Well, because of how God of War 1, or 2018 ends, it's so clearly going to be focused around Ragnarok.
Yeah, so they're going to name it God of War Ragnarok. That's what they're going to do.
Probably. I would. That's the easy choice. Mm-hmm. With the tee-up you gave us. But, who knows? Maybe the story goes somewhere directly different.
No. But overall...
Maybe it's just called God of War 2. What do you think
about
What do you think about 2 God, 2 War?
Let's stop. Okay. Anyway, overall, how'd you feel about this? And you liked it. That was now that we've gone through everything.
From a presentation perspective, this was a great showcase.
Yes, but we still have the problems with afterwards.
Well, here's my problems with afterwards. They left us with more questions than they answered, and then they immediately answered those questions through a variety of different services or sources. So I didn't bother giving you the sources with all of them because they were all over the place. Jeff Keighley's Twitter was one of them.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I saw that. I was like, wait, why are you
doing it this way? And then different marketers. So, I do know from Jeff Keighley's Twitter, we got PS5 They didn't tell us when pre-orders were starting.
Nope.
And this is the biggest offense of what we're talking about here, where they didn't give us any real information. They just showed us a bunch of really cool games.
Yeah.
PS5 pre-orders start the day after the showcase. Except actually, that's what that's what Jeff Keighley told us. Except actually, they started the day of the showcase. And it was a disaster.
Yes.
Amazon had pre-orders up for maybe 15 minutes. Walmart had pre-orders up for maybe 15 minutes. And then they were immediately sold out. And then Amazon immediately started emailing people of, hey, you're not going to get your shit on launch day. What? How did you fuck this up?
Even though they already bought it?
Yeah, even though they've already pre-ordered. They're saying, hey, you're not getting your shit on launch day. Because COVID, because this was mishandled, because, who knows a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But the point is that you fumbled this ball really, really bad.
Yes. Now,
so much so that yesterday, Saturday, for those listening on Monday, PlayStation tweeted out an apology saying, hey, this could have gone smoother.
That was... it took me by surprise. Amazing.
First off, appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Especially, it wasn't even like...
We tried our best
even like
to fix
PlayStation
this.
UK or PlayStation China or whatever. It was the main PlayStation account, and they were saying, "Hey, we screwed up. We're going to work on fixing it."
Which will they? At this rate?
No, I believe they will because they need to get these consoles out.
Yeah, and get back that goodwill because people were angry.
People were pissed.
I don't jump the gun on this kind of stuff.
I've been checking every day.
Were you going to pre-order?
I was going to pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
I've been checking every fucking day. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. What?
Now, I saw a joke video that you actually sent about GameStop handling this better or something like that. You sent it in our little group chat. Are they doing pre-orders successfully?
No.
Or is that just a joke?
I don't know if I haven't heard I haven't heard anything from anybody getting a pre-order from GameStop.
Yeah.
It was probably just some joke.
Neither did I. That's why I
don't even know what you're talking about anymore. It was probably just some meme about how everybody tears up GameStop, but the majority of gamers go to GameStop for games anyway. Yeah. So next, and then here's a whole bunch of information we learned from numerous sources. One, Dark Souls is a launch title.
Demon's Souls, yeah.
I'm sorry, Demon's Souls is a launch title.
I was about to get
Why was that
there.
not in your trailer?
Like, launching.
Available at
PS4,
launch.
Yeah.
Like, why was that not in your trailer? And the trailer in the showcase has a slide at the end where it says the game will be available on PC. That trailer was later taken down and replaced with a trailer that says it's only PlayStation exclusive, and PlayStation has later clarified, because of quote-unquote human error, that it is only PlayStation exclusive.
You see, my thought process with that was they saw that, hey, this is being used on PC. Did they say that about that game? No. That was Final Fantasy. They showed this on PlayStation.
No, every other game except for Final Fantasy 16 was captured on PS5.
How the fuck did someone mess that up?
Because they're lying to us. Because everybody saw, PC, I'll wait for the PC version. They're lying. I don't believe them for a fraction of a second that this game is PlayStation exclusive. You know? Even though, did the last Blue Point... I guess the last Blue Point game was Shadow of the Colossus, so that's going to be PlayStation exclusive.
Demon's Souls was also originally PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. I don't believe them.
You think they're...
I don't believe them.
You think they want to have people reason to buy PS5 at launch with Demon's Souls. But then the problem is, that you just covered, they didn't say that.
They didn't say that.
Yeah.
And how it's so easy to say that. Idiots like you and I could do that.
Yes.
And we don't know anything about marketing or...
No. Yeah,
we don't know anything about planning a release of new technology or hardware or just a new item. Like, we don't know anything about that, and we could have done that better.
Yeah.
And this continues. Demon's Souls is also $70. Yes.
Among other games.
Next, Spider-Man Miles Morales is cross-gen. You can get it on PlayStation 4. The normal version is $50, and then there's apparently an Ultimate Edition for $70. And the Ultimate Edition comes with Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4 remastered for PS5 with improved character models, ray tracing reflections and shadows, better lighting, more vehicles and people on the streets, and 3 new suits in the Spider-Man remaster. Mm-hmm. Where was this in your trailer? We watched. How long was that demo? 7 minutes.
Pretty wild.
7-minute demo, and not even like a little description at the end of anything. No announcement of a Spider-Man remaster at all. Also, this game is coming to PlayStation 4.
That's the bigger thing. It's like, well, it's
Here's
a whole
my
other
question.
console it's
available. Is it still $50 on PlayStation 4? Is it still $70 on PlayStation 4? Or is it your normal $40 and $60? And then also they say, if you get the $70 version, you can get an upgrade for the Miles Morales and for the Spider-Man remaster. No details yet about how we're doing that. There was a Insomniac alone, like separate. Insomniac said, "Hey, but you should probably get the physical version of the PlayStation 5 with the disc tray if you want that upgrade." Is what they hinted at on their Twitter. What is all this misinformation? This is so easy to give to your people your showcase.
The question I want to ask is, what went wrong? Like, was it a specific thing? Was it just so much mismanagement going on different levels?
There's no way they didn't know this was happening when they...
No, they didn't. That was the point.
Spider-Man cut away from in-game footage to a guy at Insomniac talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah. He didn't say anything about this. You're going to tell me that guy didn't know when he shot this that this game was coming to PlayStation 4?
Now, he probably was he just assuming that they're going to obviously put that.
No,
in
someone
the,
else
in
wrote.
the thing.
Sony wrote the script.
Yeah.
and fucked all this up. This is all on Sony.
No, yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West will be cross-gen. It's coming to PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
What? We don't even have a date for that. Like, we know what's coming next year, but we don't know when next year. We assume spring-ish? So it would make sense that it's cross-gen. But again, why are we hearing about this outside of, one, your PlayStation reveal event months ago, and two, this new showcase in which you're not telling us anything? This continues. Astro's Playroom will be pre-installed on your PlayStation 5. That's cool. Again, you could have told us that. Sackboy's Big Adventure, $70.
Uh-huh.
Again, you could have told us that. And here's what killed me, because the trailer for this game was so short, you could have just said anything with some quick text interchanging. DMC 5 Special Edition. We already spoke on. Virgil is playable. There's ray tracing, 4K at 30 FPS, or 1080p at 60 FPS, or 120 FPS modes, 3D audio, turbo mode, which is the game played at 1.2 speed, legendary Dark Knight difficulty, which has more enemies on screen, which they showed that off in the trailer, but they didn't make a big deal about it. So that could have been misinterpreted as new levels. It could have been misinterpreted as challenge rooms, which isn't what it is. I mean, as far as we know, because all of this was told to us later after the showcase.
Mm-hmm.
That DMC 5 Special Edition trailer is so bare bones. All of the reasons you would buy a Special Edition version of DMC 5 was learned after the trailer came out. And it's not in the trailer. So when people look it up, they're not going to see it.
Well, you got Virgil. They got like every definitely crap.
But Connor, they didn't hear about that in the trailer.
No, they still didn't. I mean, they messed up in every other area. I mean, they just...
We also found out Final Fantasy XVI's producers and director. The producer is Naoki Yoshida, and the director is Hiroshi Takai. Do you know any of these names?
No.
No? Okay, well...
I think they may have worked on 14? I may be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. So this is all vital information. Why are we not hearing about it?
Yeah. It's like they just wanted to... I feel like what their main goal with this announcement was, all these announcements, were just the games themselves and the content in them, not the specifics. And they just kind of completely forgot about it. Or maybe whoever was forming this thing together completely forgot to add certain stuff in.
No, I refuse to believe they forgot. They go through... There's too many hands involved. There's too many hands involved to say they forgot. Well, they intentionally left this information out because they know, one, $70 is not a good look from the consumer point of view. Two, if your first two major games are coming to PlayStation 4, why would I buy a PlayStation 5 for it?
Mm-hmm. That is true too.
Why not? Why would I not wait?
The issue with this is what's happened. People know this stuff now.
Do they?
It's gotten out.
We know this.
Yeah, well.
But we pay more attention than your average consumer. Your average gamer, or like your kid, the kid who's just hanging out and watching trailers online.
That's true as well.
And who's sending his mom to GameStop. Also, how are these poor moms going to know which version to buy?
That was the thing I was bringing up before. What are you going to get the most value out of? And
with this holiday season? Like, how are they going to know the difference? And what are they going to know? Also, can you even tell your average mom who doesn't play games but their kid likes games that, like, hey, if you buy this 400 version of this game, you can't buy discs in store anymore?
Like when you were getting bought consoles by your parents, because that obviously that happened. How hard was it? At least I can know from experience.
It wasn't
to get
hard
PlayStation
at all
3.
because we didn't have this issue.
No. Well, that's the point, though. It was hard for my parents because I would say, hey, here's this PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. And they were like, okay. And then they had to come to ask me and say, which one is it again? Like, because they don't know. Like, from us, it's easy. Like, maybe for you, it's less so.
Wait, what do you mean this random game that I picked up off the shelf doesn't work with your console?
Yeah. Why does it says the game right here? It's right there.
And now it's even more complicated. Like, your clarity is so fucking important. How is Xbox doing this better than you? And they've got like 5 different SKUs.
Yeah.
But they've said straight out, hey, it'll work on everything. Everything works.
Yeah.
Everything works. Everything works. This next generation is not about power. It's not even really about the games you're getting. It's about the convenience of it all. Because, unfortunately, consumers are lazy and ill-informed. And that's on them. But, because it's on them, they are now being preyed upon by folks like the folks at Sony right now. And now we're having to buy we're having to spend an extra $100 because we're uninformed on what we're buying. Like they didn't even announce the Spider-Man remaster for whatever reason.
Put it like that, yeah, that's incredibly scummy.
Like it's just like, what is the plan here?
So, yeah.
What is the plan here? Now,
I mean, you kind of just laid it out in those terms. It's to get as much money as they can.
Just to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I don't know. We don't know anything about what it takes to launch a console. So the pre-order situation, I can understand how in a COVID world, balls just continuously kept getting dropped.
Yeah, but that's one thing
after
entirely.
Step after step after step of error. But just the simple messaging of, hey, Horizon is also going to be available on PlayStation 4. Like, that's a line of text that your editor can just throw in there.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is a launch title. That is a single line of text. Not only is it a single line of text, you threw in another line of text in which you're saying is incorrect. I don't believe you. Like...
Yeah.
So, coming off of the showcase, I was incredibly high, and then I went on Twitter, and it was a fucking shitstorm. And I was like, oh, they fucked up. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these games look great. All of these games look like super high-quality games.
Yeah.
There's not a single game in here that I don't think is worth not playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no one's debating that. It's all what you just covered.
So,
all that.
The hard work that those people are putting into their games is showing. Those games look fucking awesome.
But it's being screwed over.
The problem is I don't know when I'm buying it, I don't know how I'm buying it, and I don't know what I'm buying it on.
Yes.
Those are the easiest and simplest and most important questions you have to answer, and you didn't answer any of them.
If you were to go and search this stuff online on articles, you're going to have to look up multiple articles. Because everyone's going to be like...
You have to look for it.
Yeah.
What? And this is the moment where you say, hey, everybody watch this. Everybody who wants to get a PlayStation, watch this. And you fuck this up. Your average gamer doesn't follow Jeff Keighley on Twitter.
You're telling me that most gamers don't watch the VGA Awards and know him through that?
During opening night live, somebody at Sony had told Jeff Keighley directly that there would be plenty of... there would be a heads up for pre-orders. Everybody would have enough time to get their shit ready.
Now, sorry, tangent. Is it Jeff Knightley or Jeff Keighley?
It's Jeff Keighley. What are you talking about? Jeff Knightley? No, it's another dude.
Huh.
And you call yourself a gamer. You just brought up the VGAs.
Well, Tavin, I am, after all, a games journalist.
Okay. So, I don't know. This is such a... I don't know how you fuck this up. Like, I don't know how you fuck this up. This is shit so easy to do. Even, like, okay, we don't want to bog down our trailer with, like, resolutions and FPS stats. Okay, well, just tell us Virgil is fucking playable. Tell us new game modes. Anything. But no, it's just images of Dante cutting up demons, which we saw 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And so much so that I remembered those images not being in those games. So I recognized while watching the trailer that there was going to be new content in there. But did your average fan know? Did your average Joe who just kind of picked up DMC5 on a whim, maybe didn't even beat it, but played a lot of it and liked what he played and was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get that again. Did he know that there's going to be new content? I doubt it.
They didn't. For fans, yeah, it was very easy to tell there was stuff in there, but not that.
I love Insomniac. I fucking adore Insomniac. I follow some of the guys over at Insomniac. For when new suits, I followed them back when Spider-Man was still launching new DLC suits, and so I could get the updates on that.
And they were nerding out over it. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So but I didn't know this Spider-Man remaster was coming.
Did you know the clarifications? Did it come from them, or did you get them?
It came from
elsewhere?
them.
Okay, yeah. So even the developers had to come in and fix the PR of Sony.
Yeah. Like, and it's not like a Spider-Man remaster will convince people to not spend an extra $20. As soon as it was like, hey, because I assumed this game was going to be $40, $50, something like that.
Yeah.
When they said, hey, the new standard is $50, $70, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I was like, okay, $50 for Miles Morales. And then it was later that they were like, hey, but like $70 you get a Spider-Man remaster and it looks prettier. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me that right now. Why was that not in your trailer? I would have fucking freaked the fuck out. I get 3 new suits? That is a 30-second sting at the end where you just show off some character models, you put in a couple of lines of text, and then it's over. It takes so little effort to put that in a showcase that takes a lot of effort to put together. Because you're dealing with a lot of moving pieces. Maybe the Spider-Man remaster stuff isn't ready to show.
The more you talk about it, the more it makes sense that this is all done on purpose.
Just throw in some text.
Yeah.
But it's done so intentionally to where it's confusing. How is a Spider-Man remaster not a selling point for a PlayStation 5? Because even if they were like, hey, Miles Morales cross-gen. Okay, that makes sense. It's coming out launch day. There's 110+ million PS4s in the wild. Of course they're going to have it. Anybody can get it at any time. Of course. That makes sense. That's money you're leaving on the table. Otherwise. Even though I think it would have been a much bolder and much braver move, and I would have respected it if they just said, hey, PS5 only. Come buy our shit. Like, I would have respected that. I would have been like, all right, yeah, sure. But it makes sense that it's cross-gen. There's a lot of PS4s out there in the wild.
Yeah.
But, like, just like a line of text saying Spider-Man Remaster for PS5 for the $70 version. Just a single line of text would have instantly bought you so many more PS5s, would have instantly bought you so many more copies of Miles Morales on PS5, and would have instantly given you $20 more from all of these people. Like, this is you intentionally confusing us and intentionally leading us the wrong way. Now, in a way that it doesn't benefit you. Like, it hurts you more than it helps you. Why are you doing this? This is a Nintendo level fuck up.
Yeah, you never want to be left someone like that. Now, how are they going to fix it if they are going to fix it at all? Are they going to do a video?
New trailers.
Maybe.
Cut new trailers.
Yeah, release them individually.
Yeah.
On their page, maybe even.
New commercials.
But are they going to fix it, though?
I mean, they've already fixed the Demon Souls.
Yeah, but that seemed to be the bigger news. Like, even people that don't follow this stuff as much.
That was outrageous.
They were doing that.
That was outrageous.
Even they noticed that.
How do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
How do you fuck that up? I didn't even think it would come to PC before that trailer. And now that it's on there, I don't believe you for a second.
Yeah.
Especially now that, there's all these headlines and stuff that PlayStation is looking to release more of their exclusive titles on PC anyway. Okay, and Horizon Zero Dawn has come to PC, and Death Stranding has come to PC, and Persona 4 Golden is on PC now. I expect to see 2018 God of War come to PC. As, I don't expect any Naughty Dog games to go to PC. I expect Ghost of Tsushima to go to PC.
That makes sense.
Some of these games make sense to go to PC. Until Dawn is probably going to go to PC at some point. If it's not already, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I think it is.
I feel like I would have seen that.
I thought
Bloodborne. Bloodborne will probably come to PC.
Oh, they had already planned on that, hadn't they?
Maybe I have no idea.
I thought I'd seen information of them already planning on it.
So now that you've even put the possibility out there that Demon's Souls is coming to PC, whether it's a year later or 6 months or even launch day, I don't believe you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to buy Demon's Souls on PC, even if it comes to PC. I'm going to buy it on PlayStation.
It's always been a PlayStation game.
It's
From Software games.
Well, it's a PlayStation game. It's a From Software game.
Or console game, I should say.
But, if I decide to buy it and if I fall in love with it, I'm going to want to, get the Platinum Trophy in it. Like, I'm not going to buy a PC, so that I can play with my friends for Demon's Souls that had no multiplayer? Like,
yeah, not much there.
So, just a fuck up to the extent that I've never seen before. Because it takes 10 seconds of thought to be like, hey, isn't that a little bit confusing? In a time where we don't want to be even slightly confusing? Like,
apparently not, because they didn't think it was that confusing enough to not fix it.
Just spell it out so simply for your audience. You want to over spell it out to the point where people would be like, shut the fuck up, I know. Like, and what? And this is the last big thing we're getting before console launch, you assume.
Yes.
We're not going to get another showcase like this until console, until probably
so, no.
E3 time next year.
No. Well, there is E3 next time.
Well, even if it is, PlayStation's not going.
No.
So, anyways, I'm still excited for PlayStation 5 because it's just new stuff. New stuff is exciting.
A lot of new stuff, yeah.
New stuff is exciting. I'm excited for most of these games. I'm playing almost all of them. Let me look. Yeah, I'm taking a pass on Call of Duty, Oddworld, and Five Nights at Freddy's, and Fortnite.
But I mean, those are the smaller games that were kind of just tossed.
Everything else I'm touching.
Maybe except Oddworld, but yeah.
Everything else I'm touching. You know, I'm buying Miles Morales day one on PlayStation 5. Hogwarts Legacy, I'm going to play that day one, unless some more information comes out and it looks like trash. Or whatever.
Which it could easily at this point.
It could, but as of right now, you have me. Resident Evil 8, I'm playing day one. Deathloop.
Is Resident Evil 8 a confirmed date for anything yet?
2021 is all they say.
2021, okay.
Deathloop. I love Arcane, even though I didn't play Prey. I should play Prey. And I never even finished Dishonored 2.
You'd probably like Prey, I feel. It looks like a game you'd enjoy.
Oh, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. Not for me, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Bioshocky.
My brother Parker liked it.
It's
he liked Prey. He liked Dishonored too, so I think he'd like it. You both have that same like for those games.
Dishonored is a great series.
Mm-hmm. I'd never personally got into it.
The first one, I like the first one better. I think the levels were better designed, personally. But Dishonored 2 is still a phenomenal game. The more ambitious levels in Dishonored 2. So I can always respect, being a little overambitious and it not coming through the way you thought. Especially if the quality is still super high.
Right.
Yeah, so like Deathloop, day one. DMC 5 Special Edition, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Oddworld, probably not. Five Nights, no. Demon Souls, I'll try. I'll try it. Just to check it out and see if I like it.
Maybe this is the first time you'll be able to enjoy a software game.
Software game. Maybe. I enjoyed Sekiro for the
small time
3 hours I played it.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Fortnite. I don't need to play Fortnite on
No,
PlayStation 5.
we're done.
Yeah, we're done. I am excited for these games, though. I'm genuinely excited.
Yeah. A lot to look forward to.
So, Connor, that's the PlayStation Showcase. We're running a little long today.
Very long. Is this maybe our longest one yet?
The first one was 2.5 hours. I don't think we're breaking that.
Not yet, no.
We are at an hour and 42 right now.
Okay.
So, Connor, what have you been playing?
Well, I had been mentioning it to you before. Not much. Though, there are two games.
You had a week break and you haven't been playing shit?
Nope, not at all. I've been watching a lot of anime.
But good for you, I guess.
But specifically for games, me and a couple friends started playing a Warhammer game called Warhammer Deathwing. I've talked about Vermintide a couple times. It's kind of almost like a hack and slash.
You're going to make me cringe.
I am going to make you cringe.
Last 15 minutes of this podcast, aren't you?
But this one's very first-person shootery. You're fighting against waves of insect creature type things. Stop falling asleep. I played it a while ago, but it was boring.
Okay.
But now that I'm playing with friends, it's tons of fun. Lots of different roles you can take on that you can switch off pretty easily. And it's a very, very difficult game. We had to play on normal to actually have a chance, and we still died a couple times or almost died a couple times to giant boss type enemies.
Sounds almost unfair.
Yeah. But we were playing with one less person than the game usually comes with, which is 4.
What a great game then.
But a very, very fun game. It went on sale. It comes on sale every now and then for $7.
Okay.
It's a good game, fun.
Right.
But the bigger game that I've been playing, that's new, that I played more of, that you've also played, is Among Us.
Yeah.
Among Us, it took the gaming world by storm.
Randomly,
streaming,
too. Just out of nowhere, because this game came out 2 years ago.
2018. And I thought it came out recently. I was like, it's this new game people are playing.
So did I.
Oh,
no, this game just out of nowhere just blew up.
A bit too much as the developers are concerned. Because
the servers are destroyed.
Private servers. We took forever some nights.
This is what happens when your game has minimal to no server activity for 2 years, and then all of a sudden, even 100,000 people are playing it, and they've currently got somewhere 1.3 something million concurrents or something like that.
Yeah.
So the game just blew up out of nowhere. They weren't prepared for this. They were probably working on something else.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they announced Among Us 2 very quickly after.
Well, they suddenly got a lot of funding for
yes,
Among Us 2.
Yes.
So for those of you at home who don't know, Among Us is a top-down.
Whodunit.
It's a what?
A whodunit.
A whodunit. Kind of, yeah. It's a top-down game where you play as like these little astronaut guys, and you're running around fixing your ship.
Yes, very cute.
Yeah. But what you don't know is one of you is an imposter.
Yes.
And the imposter's task is to murder everybody on the ship. But he has to be stealthy about it, because if he gets caught, they throw him out the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's a social game in which you're testing your wit against your friends, and you're lying to each other and seeing who can out clever who and stuff, and who's telling the better lie and stuff. It's thrilling, especially with a bunch of people to play with who you know.
Oh yeah, because you kind of guess like, I know this person, so is this person lying? I feel like I know him enough to where he's lying, but then you find out maybe he's
this
not.
Sounds like something he would lie about.
Which a lot of the times that happens to me. We're like, Connor's lying, and then I'm not.
You get into a mode.
But it isn't even like, it's not even obvious, because sometimes you'll do it and you'll vote me off, and it's like, oh, he was not the imposter.
Yeah. I think one time it was hilarious. The other night we were playing, and I was the imposter, and I was going up into the electrical room, which is one of the more secluded rooms on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of the 3 maps, by the way. There's 3 different maps. One's not good.
One not very good. The other 2 pretty good. So I follow someone up into the electrical room. I plan on killing them in there. So I run up, I kill them, and then I go and jump into the vent, which is something only an imposter can do. But while I was jumping in the vent, somebody else came into electrical and saw me. So I jumped back out of the vent and reported the body, which is basically like, when you report the body, everything pauses. Everybody comes into the game chat and starts talking about what happened. And it tells you who died. It tells you who's reporting the body. And that's all the game tells you. From there, it's all based on what players are telling each other. So me, the imposter, reports on my own body that I've created. Reports on the corpse I just made, and says, "Hey, this guy." I think it was our friend Michael. I think was
yeah.
had walked in and seen me jump into the vent. So I came in. I reported the body and jumped in real quick. Hey, Michael killed him and then jumped in the vent. I saw him do it. I just walked in. So I've obviously just flipped the roles here.
Yeah, very easy tactic that's used a lot.
Yeah.
And what happened, I wonder? I wasn't there.
Oh, it
so
worked
what happened?
perfectly.
Yeah, because seems like, especially with Michael, if you do that, it's like, oh, yeah, well, of course, the person who reported the body wouldn't do it.
Right. And
sometimes.
if you come back with no you as your defense, it's not going to work.
No.
Nobody's going to fall for that.
Unfortunately,
so it worked.
Yeah.
Michael got wrongly shot out the airlock, and then I ended up winning that game.
Yeah. Now, the problem with that tactic, though, is that usually when that happens, or at least it should be the case, when that happens, obviously the guy that accused him is the actual imposter because they just turned it around.
Yeah.
You would think that, though, wouldn't you? You would think that.
Yeah, the problem is it then discredits the imposter that round for the next couple of rounds. The exact next round.
Oh.
I walk up into electrical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an imposter. I walk up. I see Michael and I think our friend Fergus or something. I see Michael kill Fergus and hop into the vent. To which I go, fuck. This is the exact same story. So I report the body. Everybody, and while we're playing, everybody is muted so we can't talk to each other.
No.
And then when it comes time to discuss who done it, we come in and we start talking. So I come in and I say, okay, listen. I know I just did this story, but I swear to God, I walked into electrical, I saw Michael kill Fergus and hop into the vent. I know you're not going to believe me because I just sold this as a lie not 5 minutes ago. And of course they didn't believe me.
Yeah,
so
rightfully so.
They instead say, no, fuck you, Tavin, and they vote me out. Even though this time I'm telling the truth.
It fires back at you. Yeah.
And this then causes us to lose the game. Michael, the actual imposter, wins. It's the exact reversal of what happened, except both times I tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just hilarious moments like this.
Yeah.
And then it's moments of somebody goes and runs and presses like the emergency button, which shuts everything down, and goes, I saw Connor jump out of the vent. And Connor comes in, hey, no, fuck you. I wasn't in the vent. Where the fuck did you see me jump into a vent? You were in electrical. No, I wasn't. I was over there on the other side of the map doing this. Phil can attest to this story. Yeah, Connor's right. Why are you lying? Fuck, was it not Connor? And then now suddenly we're suspicious of whoever pressed the button.
Yes.
You know? And it's just fun, little thrilling things like that.
Now, it gets real fun, in my opinion, when there's more imposters, because the more players there are, to make it easier for the imposter to actually have a chance, the imposters increase. And you know who they are, so you can always like work out some details. For example, I was playing with Glenn, as we were both the imposters, and he killed someone. I can't remember it. And the kills are on a cooldown, so you can't just, keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, you
so
kill one, and then you have to wait like
35 seconds.
45 seconds.
Whatever you set it as.
Yeah.
And
until you can kill again.
So he killed a guy, and he started running away, and I stood around the body, and a guy, David, our friend David, came up, and was going to obviously report the body, so I kill him and then run away. So there's this, and you can't talk the entire time, even to other imposters during the game. So there's always, you got to like silently communicate sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's another way you really do good in winning the game. Because there was another instance where I saw you jump out of a vent, and I thought, well, he may not actually have done that. He may have just been out of my view. But I decided, no, he jumped out of the vent. So I go and press the button. Then you go to do the same thing to accuse me.
Yeah.
Spencer, our friend, also who's the other imposter, kills me, and then instantly reports the body. Or did you report the body?
I reported because Fergus was dead in that hallway.
Yes,
because I had killed him recently. So I ran to Fergus's body. You were running all the way to the button.
Yes.
And I was going to blame Fergus on you. Except I didn't realize Spencer had killed you.
Yes. And the first thing you did before looking was, Connor did it. I saw him kill Fergus.
Yeah.
And Connor's dead.
Yeah, everyone's like, Connor's dead. What are you talking about?
And they believed you. You were like,
I spun it as something else.
The worst spin.
Oh,
that's
what it was. Spin. I spun it as, because you were already dead, I spun it as, fuck, I must have been wrong. I must not have seen him jumped out of the vent because I ran north and I lost sight of him. So somebody must have killed him when I lost sight of him.
It was a bad lie.
It was a bad lie. It was the worst lie I've ever come up with.
And they were like, okay. Well, I guess he's not the murderer. Who
did
is?
We vote out?
Someone. It was like Michael, I think.
It might have been Michael.
He said nothing, which is he was usually the scapegoat. Like, it's Michael. Yeah, I guess it's Michael. And then you won.
Homie got blamed because he's quiet.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, and he doesn't defend himself, so he's just like, yeah, all right, I guess. Yeah.
So anyway, that's Among Us.
It's a fun game.
It's a lot of fun. We're probably going to play it some more later this week.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if we need to talk about it again on the podcast because there's not a lot of content in the game.
Though, that being said, we should slow down on the amount of times we're playing because it's just like...
Yeah, that's why I didn't play it last night or the night before, whatever it was, because I wasn't in the mood, and it's also difficult to get that many people together.
Yeah.
And the servers are a bit of a mess right now.
Unless it's late at night, usually it's difficult to get a game set up.
Right. But who knows? We might play tonight.
We might.
It's been a couple nights.
We're not. At least I'm not. I can say for certain.
4 or 5 people say, hey, I'm in. You're jumping in.
We'll see.
You're jumping in.
I'm going to be busy tonight, to be quite honest.
Anyways. Connor, you been playing anything else this week?
No, that's about it.
Okay, well, I've been playing a lot this week.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and start with something pretty easy that I can probably jump in and jump right out. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which is the collection that was announced 2 weeks ago or whatever, in which it's the 3 big 3D Mario games, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Galaxy 2, for some weird reason, missing from this list, but whatever. So I jumped in last night, and I basically played the first level of every game to get a feel for it. I haven't played 64 since I was such a super young child at a friend's house. I've never played Sunshine, and Galaxy I beat, but it was so long ago. Like, I played it when it came out, and I was so young, and I just don't remember things. So playing the first levels of each, 64, it's impressive that game is so freeing in its movement, considering how old it is.
It's a timeless game. It really is. When I played
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, like, you could, in a sense, you could have fun with it and not say, like, wow, this is so, like, outdated that it's broken.
It is not unplayable.
No, unplayable.
Because of age.
Yeah.
Like, you can still play it today. It's still old. It still very much shows its age, not only in its textures and its polygons and all of this. Its camera controls are, super antiquated.
Bad? Oh.
I would argue bad, but, Maybe someone who is more familiar with the game wouldn't. But, it still works in the sense of Mario has a super dynamic moveset. It later becomes more dynamic with games like Super Mario Odyssey, which came out a few years ago. But for what it is, it's still pretty dynamic. You can mix and match moves, and you can, the game rewards you for experimentation and exploration, and there's a lot to discover in every level. So that's a lot of fun. And for the most part, Mario still controls well. There's a few times where it's like, I didn't want to do that.
You slide a little bit.
Little bit of like sliding, falling off of things. Like there's some sensitivity that like has not aged super well. But for the most part, it works and it's fun. Sunshine, which I've never played before, and is historically touted as the weakest of the 3D Mario games. In fact, it's the only one in this collection not considered a classic.
Mm-hmm. Which, to me, it is, because I watched my brother play that when we were younger, and that was a real fun time.
Still a pretty good game.
Oh, it is.
And even I can still attest to it. It's still fun to play. The moveset is so much more limited than that of 64. And some of its presentation choices feel rushed. For example, the beginning of the game, the narrative hook is that Mario is being framed for crimes he didn't commit.
Yes. There's
this whole courtroom sequence in which the courts say, hey, you have to go fix these crimes you did if you ever want to leave this island. That whole sequence plays out on a black screen where only the characters are on it. Or like a character in a desk. But other than that, it's just eternal blackness. It's not a courtroom. Like, it's obviously supposed to be a courtroom, but there's no courtroom. So I don't know if that's because the game was rushed. I don't know if that was an actual choice. Whatever it was, it didn't work.
Yeah.
It feels cheap, and it looks cheap, and it is cheap. The use of FLUDD is fun as a mechanic. The aiming isn't aging well with shooting the water everywhere. And the limited moveset immediately causes me to just not even try and explore or experiment with any of these jumps or stuff. It's simply, okay, where's the objective? It's over there. All right, I'm going straight there. I'm not gonna like flip around and see what's around the next corner or anything. I'll also say, even though I'm only maybe an hour into the game, I already feel repetition creeping in.
Oh, I see.
Which is weird because in all of the 3D Mario games, you have pretty much you have all the moves you're going to have for the entire game right off the bat. Super Mario 64, never so far. I've even played a little more this morning. I haven't felt repetition yet. And there's no new moves to unlock, but it's just me using them in these varied environments to achieve my goals is fun, and it's constantly fun and rewarding. Super Mario Galaxy is the same thing. Super Mario Odyssey was the same thing. I played that entire game all the way through. I was never bored once.
You had a lot. You look back at that game very fondly from every experience you had.
Super Mario Odyssey is one of the greatest games of that year, 2017. It might be my game of the year for that year. I don't remember what else came out that year. Maybe it was like XCOM 2 or something. But Sunshine, it's already, like, repetition is already rearing its head an hour in. I'm like, oh, is this game just me clearing up puddles of graffiti? And then the monster comes out and I beat the monster? And that's it? It's what it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe, when I play a little more, I'll be proven wrong. But that's what it feels like right now. Also, some of the hit detection doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm hitting things, but the game isn't registering that I'm hitting them.
Yeah.
Like, an animation will even play to show that I hit it, but damage won't be done. So there's that. All that said, still fun, still joyous in its Mario ways, but definitely the weaker of the three so far. Galaxy, fucking joyous.
Yeah.
Holds up in every way. The only way that I'm like, oh man, this is kind of not great, is it is one of those first Wii titles, so it's using motion controls. It's not detrimental to the experience, so that's enjoyable, and I think it uses its motion controls in a way that is engaging.
Because you see, when we were talking about this first, when it was announced, because that was one of our topics at one point, you had said that you were a little bit wary whether they were going to do that.
How does it work on a Switch?
And it's worked pretty well so far.
Well, I mean, it works how it worked on the Wii.
Okay, yeah, so they didn't... They kind of...
It's the design itself. And this is leading into my criticism as the collection as a whole. But just real quick on Galaxy, this game is phenomenal. It is so joyous. I don't remember much, but as I'm playing, I'm like, oh, right, this level. Oh, right, this level. And then they all hold up, and it's all fun to play. The moveset is not as varied as it is in 64, but it's more varied than it is in Sunshine. And it's the closest button mapping to Odyssey.
Okay.
So that's all fun. And yeah, just the level design is perfect. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, none of it's too hard. Some of it still requires some skill. And it's fun to look around all the nooks and crannies. Even though the level design is smaller in scope, it's more densely packed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm loving it. I know for a fact I'm gonna finish 64 just to say that I have.
Yeah. Be an old gamer. I played 64 back in the day.
I want to say I'll finish Sunshine, but that's the one that maybe I'll drop off halfway through or something.
Is it short? It seems like it might be the shortest one.
I couldn't tell you. I think it is. Galaxy, I'm going to finish all the way through because I want to. Because that game is so fun to play. So yeah, I'm going to continue playing it. It's a fucking blast. But my overall criticism of the collection is it's pretty bone dry ports of these three games. Mm-hmm. There's no button configuration. The controls are what they are. There's no flash or style in the menus. No like animations in the menu. It's pretty much just white text on black, backgrounds, and that's pretty much it. The lack of transitioning Super Mario 64 to widescreen is appalling. That game needs an update.
Yeah.
There are fan-made remakes of 64 that look better, that play better, and with a camera that actually works in the way that it should.
Mm-hmm.
They transitioned Sunshine to widescreen, cool. But the resolution is obviously the weakest of the three. They even... in 64 and in Sunshine, the camera controls were inverted in the original game. They have reversed that, but they don't have any way to turn it back on. So
that's like a very basic function.
Super basic function.
So not even just button mapping. It's also just
they've tweaked it from the original, but they've also not given gamers who do play inverted a way to play inverted. Like, they just can't play the game.
By the way, why? Why inverted? Just on the topic of inverted.
Oh, it's something your brain works. Something. Well, in Super Mario 64, you got to remember this is like one of the first 3D games ever. So there is a canonical reason as to why the camera is moving.
I can imagine that.
So in the world of 64, pulling down on the stick is telling the cameraman to go down. Therefore, the camera goes up, or the perspective of the camera goes up. Obviously, that isn't what happens in 3D games later on in life. So newer generations of gamers have just said, no, I just want to go up. So I'm going to push up. But anyways, it's an old school thing. I think it'll die out the further along we go. But it's always an option you should always have.
Yeah.
Just in case someone's brain just works that way and they just, hey, I just want to play inverted. Okay. What difference does it make?
So it seems like the porting
this super bare bones collection. Like, it's like, I mean, it's a port in the sense that it works. And these are, two of the greatest games of all time and one pretty good game. So it's like, how do I get, like, if you were to, like, review this collection and you had to give it a score at the end, you would have to give it a 7, but who the fuck is giving Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy a 7? Like, those are 10 out of 10 games,
Yeah.
So, but it's the user experience in in playing these games that is dampened. But that's about all I have to say about that collection. Great games. I'm going to keep playing them. 2 other games I'm playing. And these are the last 2 games I'm going to talk about. I've played probably a little more than an hour in both of them. And they both came out this year. And officially. One of them was early access, but it came out on the Switch.
Yeah.
I can already say an hour and some change in that both of these games are going to be my top 10 games of the year. And that is Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Hades. I'm going to start with Ori real quick, which is a quick contender for the most beautiful game I've ever played. Just beautiful lighting, beautiful environments, character models, animations, gorgeous imagery in this game. Absolutely phenomenal.
I know this is one of the big things I take pride in when it comes to playing games, that I tout the imagery and how good it is. Do you sometimes just stop and just like say, yeah, I like this. This is something I like.
There's even like moments that like a cinematic will play, and I'll just be like, thank God it's a cinematic.
Like you can sit back.
Like all this perfect timing in the lighting and how everything animates and stuff. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. And the music, phenomenal.
What type of music is playing?
It's like this orchestral. How can I put it?
Kind of like naturey. I feel like
a little naturey, a little lots of heavy symphonics. So it a lot of rising string instruments and stuff. Yeah. Very inspiring. Very
flutes.
Not yet that I've heard, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I could see them being in there. I've heard a lot of strings.
Okay.
A lot of strings and a couple of percussion drums. But yeah, it's fucking great. On top of that, it's a Metroidvania 2.5D, and it's good.
Mm-hmm. Plays really well.
Ori feels great to control. I've already started playing around in some of the upgrade trees, and I'm like, oh man, this is fucking legit. Like, on top of it being this pretty and this gorgeous to look and hear, it feels great to play. And I don't know if I've ever seen a Metroidvania tick all of these boxes. Like, holy fuck, this game is good. Is it going to be my game of the year? I don't know. I haven't played enough, but it's going to be in that conversation. I can't, as of right now, I mean, I'm high on it right now, so give me a couple more hours and I'll see where I go from here. But I can't see it not being in my top 3 for this year.
This just does look impressive.
Oh my God, it's so, in motion, it's so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And then, dude, I love the combat so much.
Is it kind of like you jump on enemies or you punch them? Do you like a little?
Oh, there's attacks. Yeah, you don't want to jump on these enemies. They'll fuck you up. And it's a little unforgiving in moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's challenging. I'm playing on normal because that was in the difficulty descriptions they said, hey, play this on normal. Like, even when I went to hard, they said, hey, you should probably, if this is your first time, you should play on normal.
It is a Metroidvania. They're difficult, and it carries over then.
Yeah, they can be, and it's frustrating to like try and clear out this room that you've cleared out before, but it's a pain in the ass room. So yeah, I can't wait to play more. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's just art, like just art. On top of it being a great fucking game to play, like gameplay is nailed. Another game where gameplay is nailed, Connor.
Yes, one that I've been looking forward to playing. It's on my Steam wish list.
Hades has come officially to the Switch and to Steam. This game went to early access back in 2018, I want to say. I didn't have a computer on which I could play it on at the time, and I'm glad I've waited for the official release. This game, it's a roguelike game, so you jump in, you fight as many enemies as you can, you die, you get reset back to the beginning, but you've collected resources, so then you upgrade your character, and then you fight, and you make it a little further.
Mm-hmm.
And then you die, you reset, you upgrade, you fight, you make it even a little further.
Is it the same things you do over and over again, or is it
randomly
generated?
I think the rooms are randomized.
Okay.
It feels randomized. Except for like the first room.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like I'm hitting the same things. There are like benchmarks, and there's like alternate paths you can take.
Mm-hmm.
There are benchmarks. So like the first room that like actually gave me trouble was like, I guess you could call it a boss. Felt kind of mini bosses. It's like these two twin type enemies who threw bombs at me.
What were their names?
I don't remember.
Otis.
They were like
Ephialtes?
rats. They were like rats or something.
Oh, never mind. Not Greek.
What is Greek? You're getting upgrades from the gods and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're Hades' kid.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were characters from Greek mythology. That's what I was curious about.
The characters are in there.
Yeah.
I can't place the main actor for the life of me because I've heard him before. I do know Jennifer Hale is Artemis.
Uh-huh.
I almost want to say Travis Willingham is Hades, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So you would recommend this game to me?
Oh my god, yes, dude. Oh yeah. Lots of just clearing rooms and going to the next room and getting upgrades and the combat is fun and dynamic and combos are created as you go through and get your. There are temporary upgrades that you only have in that life, and once you die, those upgrades go away.
Yeah.
And you can kind of create like your own little build. So like you'll have your basic like little 3-hit light attack, and then your 1 heavy attack, and then there's a dodge, and then there's like a 1 ranged attack. But as your upgrades go, it can be like hey, when you dash, where you end up will be an area of effect in which enemies in that area will cause less damage to you for the next 5 seconds. So you go, oh, okay, so I'm going to dash into every group, and then I'm going to hit them 3 times, and then I got this other upgrade for my heavy attack, which knocks them all away. So I'll dash in, they'll become weakened to attack, or their attacks will be weak, so I'll hit them, I'll do some damage with my light attacks, and then I'll throw down my heavy attack, and they'll be sent away from me. And then I'll just repeat that process and dodge all these things. And then things like that. And it's super dynamic in those temporary upgrades.
Yeah.
Super great. I love playing with them. Like, that's something like, even Dead Cells, like the temporary upgrades in that game, some were like obviously fucking useless, and some were, which is another, Dead Cells is another phenomenal game.
Yes, I have that, actually.
Oh, it's so good.
Didn't know you played that.
What?
Didn't know you played that.
What are you talking about?
Dead Cells?
Dead Cells?
Dead Cells.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Ignore that.
Okay. I will.
Ignore that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Because it was like just the opposite, where I was like, I remember praising Dead Cells when it came out. I don't remember you playing it at all.
I did play it. It was fun.
It's a great game. And Hades is great. It's top down, whereas Dead Cells is 2D.
Well, it's made by the people that did
side-scrolling.
Transistor and Bastion, which I have played Bastion recently. Very fun game as well.
Transistor back in the day. I never beat it though. But yeah, Hades, I'm fucking loving. The humor in it is great too.
Oh, there's humor.
Yeah, there's humor, and it's pretty good. But yeah, just that loop, that gameplay loop. Oh my god, I could lose hours.
Yeah.
Hours to that. I had to put it down because I was like, I got to get to Ori because I played it before Ori.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to play Ori tonight because I started this last night. I was like, I have to play it so I can talk about it on the podcast. But oh my god, as soon as I got in, I didn't want to put it down. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Big question.
Yeah.
Which is better, Ori or Hades?
I'm too early to decide, and they're too different in games.
First impressions, though, like if I said, okay, we're done with the podcast, go play one, what would you choose? Like this is.
I'm gonna probably play Hades right now because
you want to get back in that feel.
Yeah. Also, Ori is like one of those games that like I really want to be immersed in that because it's so gorgeous. That even though it's an action game and there's a lot of like killing enemies all over the place, I like that. That's a game that I just want to sit in and be like, all right, I'm going into the world of Ori. Whereas Hades, it's like okay, I just kind of want to do a little bit of button mashing, but like there's enough tactics to where like I have to be skillful and stuff. Like, oh my god, it's so good, it's so good. And also the art style is really really nice, nice like death metal, like because you're rolling through the underworld, you're trying to escape the underworld.
Yeah. I'm gonna play that soon. Then you're making it hyped up.
Oh my god, it's good, dude. I mean, I can play it for you a little bit right here,
or
I can even pass you the controller. You can put the hands on the sticks for a little while. But other than that, yeah, that's all I've been playing, and I think that's gonna wrap it up there.
I think that is.
Woo! We got a chunky one this week.
2 and what?
2 hours, 14 minutes.
Almost the longest one then.
Almost, nearly. So for that.
I think
we're going to bid you adieu. I want to go ahead and throw out there real quick. Make sure everyone is registered to vote. Make sure you vote. It's very important.
It's coming up.
It's never been more important than right now. Rest in peace, Ruth Ginsburg. Black Lives Matter.
You got to put that out there.
I'm going to put it out there. And make sure you take your government seriously because it is important and it's arguably never been more important in American history. So make sure y'all do that. But until then, y'all have a great week.